Hey meow, how's it going, everyone? Hey, so Kitty's on vacation this week, but we got a special guest. Charles, how's it going from Will Screedia?
I don't know if I'd call me special, but I'm a guest.
Oh,
Thanks for having
definitely
me.
special. Yeah.
It's good to be
So,
here.
Yeah, welcome, sir. It's awesome to have you here.
how's everyone
it's awesome
doing
to be here.
today?
Welcome.
I think we're doing good. We've got another special guest. Galenta is here again.
Oh,
That's
yes.
awesome, man.
Very
We always
much
told
so.
you you could be on the string.
Thank you. No, I'm happy to be back. It's been way too long since I've been able to chat with y'all.
Indeed. And then we might have even more of a special treat. It sounds like Hydra might be here a little longer than his usual quick
Oh
visit,
yes,
which is
I will be here
so
for
awesome.
the whole thing
Today's a good
and
day.
won't evaporate 22 minutes in randomly.
Excellent. So let's jump into it. The first thing I want to start off on a positive note was
For some.
oh hey, it's a I love it. Is the movie R.I.P.D or Rest in Peace Department from 2013. So
It was ripped, but okay.
well,
R.I.P.D.
R.I.P.D is how they pronounce it in the movie, so that's how I'm pronouncing it.
All right.
Yeah. But I was just really impressed with this. It's on Netflix if you want to go and watch it. And so we've got was stars Ryan Reynolds, Jeff Bridges, and Kevin Bacon. And I just really enjoyed it. I thought that the character work was good, the setup was good, the direction you could probably say was fairly standard for the concept, but it wasn't awkward. It wasn't super basic. It was typical, what you might imagine.
I like the premise.
Structure. Yes, the premise was good. The plot structure I thought was well. They introduced things in a timely manner. The what do you call it? There weren't any glaring plot holes, which I don't know about other people care about. Some people care about them, some people don't, but they get in the way of my enjoyment anyway. And so I really appreciate how tight the script was. The what do you call it?
There's some little conveniences, but fair enough.
No, well, you're gonna have little conveniences in any script. Things in a way that, I mean, so how I like to look at it, like, so my parents, they met on a blind date, and you could call that a big coincidence, right? But it happened, and there's also the concept of like kismet, right? Or I think that's the right word. And so
it kind of feels like by the justification of that, though, you could be like, "But this happened in the movie, so we're good."
Well, no, I mean, I hear what you're saying.
It happened, but
a certain amount of randomness, a certain amount of coincidence, is just natural in life. It's natural in storytelling. It's natural. I mean, you don't see all. I mean, to expound on every working part so that you see the whole picture would make movies 10 times longer, and so you're not going to see every working part.
And
I think it's more
so
I'm sure I'm coming off like a jerk here.
It's about,
I liked the movie.
No, it's good. I appreciate pushback. I appreciate it.
I think it's more accepted as something tolerable if, for example, the coincidence is what kicks off some major element or plot or something, rather than it being something that will tie up loose ends or resolve stuff, because they're opposed to will be down upon in scorn as the mark of somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing or poor quality writing. So there are definitely ways which it is more commonly accepted by the average person, I think.
Well, and it's also a matter of scale. Like, you are going to run into some amount of convenience in any story, and you'll also run into a certain amount in real life. But in real life, when you start running into so much coincidence, it's pretty easy to start getting skeptical or suspicious. And we start doing the same thing with stories once it starts seeming like it's, I don't know, a bit too much.
I also think that there's. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, was I?
Yeah, I was about to say I was done.
It reminds me, like, there are a bunch of these movies that come out that I perhaps cynically label them as something, but with a twist. This reminds me of like Men in Black, but with
Sure,
a slight
I
twist.
see it. Yeah, it's like a
100%.
supernatural Men in Black.
Right.
Yeah, and
So-
how.
No, go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, I see that. I also don't think that's bad though.
No,
I-
not at all. Not at
yeah.
all.
I love. Okay, so in Japanese pop culture works, they have a ton of iteration, right? So like there's this concept of, you have like video games, right? There's the like Otome games, which is like a reverse harem kind of video game where girls will they're they're the protagonist, and there's all these different male suitors, and they have to pick which one they're going to be with, right? And a girl dies playing one or something, right? And so then they get reincarnated into not the hero, but the villainess, the the antagonist of that story. There are so many of those stories in Japan that it is its own genre with its own tropes, its own conventions. You'd think that might be one story, but there are dozens of stories with that basic premise. And so I like reading. Well, it's one of the I consume a lot of that kind of they're like web novels or light novels, and I just consume a lot of those. And so I actually like looking for how is this next author going to improve on the genre, improve on the storytelling. What aspects are they introducing that can further the craft? And so I think that in America we have a more of this concept of like, oh, somebody tried it once, well, now we can't try it for another 10 or 20 years or something. And I think we lose out. I think that if we had more people trying similar concepts, we could get more interesting stories because people could build off of the conventions. I think that actually a common thing or an example of this being done is actually the zombie trend or the vampire trend. How we had a ton of zombie stuff, we had a ton of vampire stuff, and everyone's doing their own little thing that's different. And I have really enjoyed those properties for them trying to be creative and being inventive to advance the genre.
If anything, American studio systems, they go back to the well. If it works, they just keep doing it. Like, well, it worked before, so just keep trying it at a different angle.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. It seems like all the reiterations of things that happen, at least in Western media, it's more of a expression of being creatively bankrupt than it is. This thing gave me an idea for me to expand upon it with. I don't know. They just kind of come out a little lame.
Very few movies can be the tentpole movies. Very few movies can set the genre, right? So Lord of the Rings or Star Wars can be the tentpole that other fantasy falls under, and it's okay for other fantasy.
I don't know, with the Star Wars thing, like he always gets accused of just ripping off Kurosawa. I don't know. It's
but is Kurosawa sci-fi?
No.
Yeah.
Didn't he
so
openly
totally for that.
at times?
But that's not what I'm talking about.
Fair enough. You're right. Like, it did create this genre, but at the same time, it's still being accused of ripping off. Is all I'm trying to say. I just want to be a jerk and stick myself in there.
Sure, but it set the standard for the genre, and a lot of sci-fi since then has lived under that. So with R.I.P.D, I don't necessarily think it like broke any barriers as far as, you know, police action movies, but it was an interesting take on the genre, and it was entertaining at the least.
It was entertaining. It was tightly written. I think there were only
were
like
a few
one,
issues with it.
There was like one issue I can think of where why, if you've seen the movie, Ryan Reynolds, kind of the thing that leads to his death is him having gold and him not giving it or not keeping it is it rather the problem, right? That actually doesn't make a lot of sense in retrospect because his partner should just theoretically want to take it so that he can use it later on. And he shouldn't be worried that the guy doesn't want to. He shouldn't be worried that Ryan Reynolds doesn't want to keep it. It should almost be a relief.
A problem I had was Kevin Bacon shooting, spoiler alert, Ryan Reynolds instead of just shoving him over, because surely there would be like ballistics run.
Well, no, but he was using the enemy's gun. He didn't use his gun.
He was chasing the
bad
guy.
Okay.
He used
and he was chasing the Sorry,
yeah, he was chasing the villain. He was chasing the criminal, Ryan Reynolds was, and then Kevin Bacon shoots Ryan Reynolds with that villain's gun that he had dropped. So all he has to do is wipe down.
I retract my statement.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
But in theory, that villain or whatever, the dealer, drug manufacturer guy would still be on that level. So I was shooting at him if people saw him shooting or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Still, it does seem awfully convenient. And how come the Mustang came in before the SWAT team? Like, I don't know. It's weird. How come he's driving the Mustang to this, criminal takedown, if you will?
And how
like,
Ryan
SWAT
Reynolds No, I don't know. But either way, overall, I was very impressed. I enjoyed it immensely. It was very
I enjoyed it, and I'm willing to suspend belief and everything like that. But like, I don't know, just this magic, I don't know, ancient artifact that, they're able to acquire parts of, but I don't know. I get it. Like, it's
turn
weird,
anything into
but
an epic, honestly. These stories...
it feels a little super fantastical. And then why are they keeping this away from everyone? Like, I guess I get it in Men in Black because, people would freak out about it, which I'm assuming is the same reason here. But
they don't give even
nobody just like freaks out.
Yeah.
Well, like there's news coverage of when the Elvis guy kind of like is running down the street and like destroying everything. It wasn't the end of the world. So why is all of this being kept from everybody?
Yeah, exactly. No, what this is actually sort of a problem I have with a lot of movies, is that they want to focus on the bizarre situation, the new situation that's very crazy, and we don't have a firm grasp on what the normal situation is for the world to really appreciate how fantastical what's going on is. I think that Star Wars suffers from this immensely, is that we see all of in George Lucas's Star Wars, so much of what we see is so special, right? That when they're trying to tell regular stories, that it ends up having the same hallmarks, even though these are supposed to be smaller scale stories. And so what is normal gets kind of distorted. We don't have... that's why one of the reasons why I like Andor is because it is a much the stakes are smaller, the fantastical elements are smaller, and it's much more like how a normal person would move through this universe. And I wish we had more stories like that, not only in Star Wars, but in other properties as well, so that we got to understand and appreciate what is so special and fantastical and bizarre about these situations.
Well, if you can't pardon me.
Go for it.
If you can't world build in long form, like television series type stuff, like if you have like 9 to 10 hours to world build and you're still grasping at straws, you you don't
Yeah.
have the greatest, strongest of ideas, in my opinion.
Well, and world building can only carry you so far.
Sure, sure.
And so if you have this world built that's fantastical or immersive, which I personally feel like Star Wars was, you should be able to tell a story within that world that could be told in another world, and have that world building be there, but not be the pillar you're standing on. It doesn't mean you have to, but you should be able to. And I'm not sure if anyone who's in charge of making Star Wars anymore understands that you can just tell a story and have it be in the same universe.
Well, Mandalorian felt like that for however.
Oh, the first
Yeah,
season,
like,
a
I
bit,
really like this.
definitely.
Mhm.
I wish that we
I don't know,
had.
I get
I
feelings
wish
on
that they
Ahsoka. I
wouldn't.
know we're not talking about that, but
Yeah.
there's elements of that that were like done really well, in my opinion, that like kind of really caught my interest in there. But you're right, like it doesn't feel like all those properties kind of have that same feeling going through it.
Yeah. And so, and then leading this into Mike, something that's coming out Friday, if you guys didn't know, is The Fall of the House of Usher. And that's Mike Flanagan's next special on Netflix.
That is the Flanagan one.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweet.
I'm so looking forward to this.
A big fan of his previous work, so I'm looking forward to that.
The R&B thing?
I'm assuming it since. I'm sorry, which was that?
I'm sorry. I just derailed. I got to realize there's a lot of people on screen. I was taking a joke. Usher, the R&B singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He stopped making music, didn't you know?
Yeah.
Tore his house down, apparently.
But don't feel too bad. This is actually how all of our thinkers chats go. We all go
Yeah, I'm a literal moron, so just don't mind me.
And just randomly talk about something else that comes up and go in circles, everything.
Yeah.
It's not some just rigid one-way street. Everybody talks about whatever. We may end up going down some insane ziggurat of thoughts, so we will see where the train leads, essentially.
Apologies.
Yeah, and so
no apologies.
Right.
That's my job.
Yeah. So The Fall of the House of Usher, though, I'm super looking forward to it. I don't know how anybody else feels about it, but it is a, what do you call it? A short story by Edgar Allan Poe is the inspiration. And if The Haunting on Hill House, The Haunting on Hill House is was another adaptation that he had done, but he took it his own way. So I'm also expecting that same kind of thing for this property as well. I don't know how
It generally have kind of a feel to them.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that he expands on the mythos, the lore of kind of his universe, because they all sort of seem to take place in the same universe. Now, Midnight Mass was a very different type of story.
I was going to say, do you think Midnight Mass was the same? Because that kind of confirmed like monsters. I mean, I guess there's ghosts in the others, so I guess
there's
monsters
ghosts in
could
the others,
exist,
right?
but...
So monsters, sure, exactly. So I'm not sure, but I feel like he is, and so the rules of kind of how ghosts work is they're different, but they're also different situations, and I think they're complementary in Haunting in Hill House and in Haunting of Bly Manor. So I think that we can expect that this next one is going to harken back to that as well. I'm not sure. I'm not guaranteeing any of this. This is just my speculation, but I'm really excited to find out what's going on there.
I'd seen the I had seen the ad for it, and I was really kind of looking forward to that. I'm a huge fan of his work. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen Gerald's Game. It's like based off of this Stephen King short story, but that is really creepy, and the way that he kind of depicts it is like amazing. And then I really dug Dr. Sleep. Like, I don't know, it kind of took me back to The Shining. Like, I don't know, he had a lot of ways of kind of putting me back in that same type of world without making it exactly the same.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a fan of what he does, so I'm looking forward to this one.
I'm a fan of Stephen King, but I'm not sure which. Like, I don't know about Gerald's Game. Which short story was it based off of?
Ooh.
So a couple is essentially doing some. They're doing like handcuffs and stuff, and the husband has a heart attack on top of her while she's chained to the bed, and then it goes from there. It gets a little supernatural, but it's really interesting. I thoroughly enjoyed that, but also he did Doctor Sleep, so like the follow up to The Shining. I don't know. It's just really interesting. It's again different than the book, much like Shining is to the novel.
So
I
heard
still,
that
what he kept in there was
Doctor
pretty
Sleep
good.
kind of bridges the gap between the two.
It does. It was kind of trying to marry the movie with like his story. So
Sure.
I think it was done pretty well. It's got some issues, but I really dug his work. I didn't realize that this one was actually coming out this soon. So I'm excited, man.
Rose
Now I've
the
got something
Hat
to watch
was an
this
awesome
weekend.
villain in that too.
For sure. In the novel, she's even like freakier, but I thought that portrayal of her was just awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
with Mike Flanagan, I don't know how anybody else feels, but I feel like he has a trouble sticking the landing of his stories. I liked the ending to Bly Manor better than the ending to Hill House. I feel like the ending though is salvageable, but I don't think. I think he even stated that what he had written the ending to Hill House one way and then thought that it was too dark, so he changed it up. But I feel like that's kind of disappointing. I feel like it would have been better to get that darker ending. For those who haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. I don't want to say too much, but I mean that's already a spoiler. But yeah.
So you view them all as in the same world, even though they've got like the same actors in like almost every. Like,
I know, right?
In this world, are they just like doppelgangers of everybody?
Well, I mean, what is it? We kind of the inverse of James Bond, where the different actors playing the same person all throughout those years. It's supposedly up until the Daniel Craig's version, that theoretically they were all the same guy, and then they took it back to the beginning, and then they did all different types of stuff with him. So I really feel like Daniel Craig's version is his own self-contained version of James Bond, but this is sort of the reverse of that, where you're having all the same actors play different roles. Yeah.
I did hear. Sorry, go for it.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, it's stupid, but I'll do it. I hear that Mike really didn't like a whole lot of desserts, but I think he really should try the Flanagan.
I don't know, man. I've got a bad experience with flan, but I'll hear you out.
Let me see here. Oh, she's packing up all of her. Kitty's packing up all of her Wheel of Time books.
Nice. Hey, she is here. Come on, man.
No,
she's right in the middle there. But yeah, I'm really jealous. I've only ever had digital Wheel of Time, so yeah, that would be awesome.
Cool. But back to Mike
have
Flanagan.
Feelings on that too, but yeah, please go back.
Yeah. Mike Flanagan. What is it? I also feel like Midnight Mass. I feel like the ending wasn't necessarily bad, but rather that it was rushed. I feel like we needed an extra 10 to 20 minutes with that ending to kind of explore the characters better. I feel like where they ended up is fine, but just that I would have liked to have them explore more options, more conflict in that ending. I feel like everyone sort of like once the big thing happened, everyone kind of like resigned to it in a way that didn't feel like it matched their characters. If that makes sense.
Wait, where are we at now?
Midnight Mass.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So there's something happens in the last episode that kind of like changes everything, and people are just like, "Oh, okay, I guess." In a way that doesn't really make sense for their characters. I feel like they would have fought harder there would have been more conflict, even if they all ended up eventually doing everything that they did. It's just my perspective.
Mm.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I'm still a fan of that one, but I don't know. Some of it felt a little heavy-handed. It was, yeah. I don't know. I get the whole like dichotomy between like religion and like the whole like vampire thing, but I don't know. It's not my favorite of his works, but still looking forward to forgetting the name. The fall of the House of Usher.
It's
Doesn't
an
exactly,
awkward title. I'm not loving it.
Yeah.
You have two thes and
But,
two thes and two ofs in that title.
Yeah.
It feels awkward. But it's also
looking forward to it still.
It's also the official title by Edgar Allan Poe, so I think that he definitely didn't want to change it.
Yeah, because otherwise you would have just done Fall of House Usher or what? Like
Got it.
The House Usher Falls.
Yeah. And then let me just go here, there. Moving on, I thought that this will generate a lot of discussion, I believe, but Wizards of the Coast has been yet another scandal.
Yep.
So I did zero prep for this one, so I'm kind of excited to hear what it is.
Okay,
but I'm assuming they're just being super generous and allowing people to use their property again, and that's what's going on here.
Totally.
Okay.
So
massive redemption arc they are on right now. Yep, indeed.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of There's a lot of latest.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with this whole all of Wizards of the Coast this year has been nothing but scandals. It's like almost a new scandal every month, and
alarmingly so.
And so part of the scandals, though, or the controversies at least, if not scandals, is the latest one is over the word witch, as they want to remove it to be respectful of actual witches, which I feel like
and
I feel like
they're considering getting rid of druid and shaman.
I was gonna say, what about actual elves? Like people identify as elves now, right?
I just want to say that has any of them pointed to any of these self-identified people complaining about this at all? And the morons on Twitter don't count because those people will argue about anything. Just yesterday, I saw an argumentation about whether or not fucking your dead cousin is morally neutral. So those people on Twitter don't count because they're insane. But otherwise, has anybody ever even made this request that as a wizard, druid, elf, whatever, my representation on D&D
I've actually heard
rather than just a possibility or even an honorary appearance or just being able to experience it in another world and being creative about it and being whatever you want to be. Instead, this somehow like hurts them in any way. Has anybody even complained about this? Is what I'm asking, essentially.
Well, and here's the thing. In Seattle, there's everybody knows about HR department.
The queen is
hello!
Here.
Hi.
You made it.
Guys, you better like my hair. My mom cuts it.
Oh. It's a little bit less Ringo than I like, but you know, it's good.
It's a bit more female, a bit more feminine. Here is Lady. Here's my dog. Yes, hi. Also,
this footage will be used agast you.
Why?
You were already accused of being a dog fan.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Doggerinos. Yes. Oh, yes, here's Coco. Come here, Coco. Come here. Say hi.
Oh,
say hi, Coco.
So adorable.
It's a cute
See,
puppy.
Coco would be a good match with your dog. Great. Lady is
I
Jim's
think
mom.
so. Seems like he'd fit right in.
Anyway, I just wanted to say hi. Also, hi, Charles. I haven't met you.
Yes.
But nice to meet
on your own channel.
Sorry to interrupt you guys. You guys were talking about Wizards of the Coast, I see.
Yeah, no interruption. It's a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, it's your channel. I mean,
Yeah.
She thinks she can just
interrupted. We
appear
are
randomly
randomly
just because she owns the channel. What is this about?
Hydra!
Travesty.
I'm representing Phone Gang.
Hey,
Yeah.
Phone Gang in here.
Yes, you're representing the dog lovers in the upcoming election.
Coco can't jump on the bed.
I really do like that StreamYards does enable that you can join into a group call like this using your phone instead of having to have
Oh
This
my
is not
goodness.
fair. The dogs are going to take over the entire.
I'm the
I thought
opposite
this
of
was a
Hydra
cat
because
game stream.
yeah, Ollie was here. I don't know where he's gone. He's there he is. There's Pols. Hi, Ollie. Say hi, Ols. Lots of animals in South Africa. Okay, bye. Just go do your part. Okay, bye, Ollie.
Bye. So
Come here, Ollie. Say hi. Sorry, guys, this is not the
that's
anyway, this is my room where I used to live.
aw.
Don't be
Very
sorry.
cool.
This is definitely the kitty stream anyway. So
No. What? Yeah, we were talking. Oh, also, by the way, hold on. One more before I'm done. Before I leave, okay? Because I'm not going to
Okay.
stay for long.
Okay.
Okay. One more thing. You guys aren't ready to talk about it. If I disconnect, it's because it's changing Wi-Fi. Just hold on.
Okay, sure.
All right.
Okay.
Show us
But
the
you were
fish
saying
now.
Angela, say hello. Hello. That's my mom, Marie.
aw.
oh,
Hi,
That's my
Catmon.
mom.
We all say hello, but I don't think she can hear us.
She can hold on. Say hello.
Oh, we're gonna meet her
Hello.
before Gordon? What is this?
No,
Do you wanna be
Gordon
on
will forever
camera?
remain unknown.
Hi, guys.
hello,
Hey.
hello.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
She's busy cooking. Nice to meet you. She's got a knife, just gesturing with it.
As one
That's
should.
awesome.
But here's my Wheel of Time books. And just by the way, I don't have the Wheel of Time, the first book. I've got it when it was published separately as from the Two Rivers to Into the Blight.
Okay.
So the Eye of the World
Mm.
was published in two different books. When it was published by Atom, and then
That
Then it
is
went-
awesome.
then all the orbits happened. And here, I just wanted to show you this thing. Look how horribly worn this is, because my dad used it to lift up a heater once. So
Oh.
Oh, I just assumed you read it that much.
No,
But
I-
okay.
no,
fair
but
enough.
but then look at the rest of them. You can still see. You can see. I don't know
Yeah.
how clear. You can see how they're all. And I
Times,
couldn't
mhm.
leave these behind. They're all. Look at this one.
How could you
It's,
depart with all of your nerd cred?
I
Yes.
can't leave this behind. I know that it's bad, that you shouldn't have books in bad condition, but the fact is that because they're in bad condition, I cannot leave them.
It depends.
Yeah.
Did they get into bad condition because they were loved and enjoyed?
Yeah.
If so,
Yeah,
then
they
that's
were
a
loved and enjoyed.
testament.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to read
Yeah.
my books. I'm sorry.
I
Yeah.
read my book so hard.
Librarians seem to get really upset when you have a damaged spine.
But without giving anything away, you were completely right. I take back anything positive I ever said about that show. It is horrible. If you want to experience Wheel of Time,
No,
read
we
the
gotta-
books or just listen to the audiobooks.
Oh shit!
I'm not
Listen,
spoiling
audible,
anything, but every
HBO.
positive thing I ever said about that was fucking wrong. Okay.
You know what? I
Revelations
should try and
420.
watch it with my mom. I'll try and watch some of season 2 with my mom now. So she'll have to deal with me yelling
shouldn't.
at the TV.
I take it all back. They did everything wrong. Every single thing is dirty. No.
So,
No.
Charles,
Okay, I want to
what
know what
happened is that,
changed your mind. So that must have been so painful that it seemed okay, and then
It's the
then they
finale.
broke you
They did
again.
everything at 8. They do not understand one of the characters at all. Every motivation is wrong. So anyway, I was wrong. Don't watch it.
Okay, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah,
I am
there is a
watching it.
constantly
He's
looping
willing to
in
change
just
his mind.
one
Wheel
canvas.
of Time.
So,
That's because
it's-
Kitty's the masochist.
No. Oh, my mom hasn't. My mom hasn't. My mom likes the Wheel of Time. Hold on. Season 2 is on now. We can watch it. She's happy about it. I hate it, Angela. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, well, that's what we're gonna do. You guys can carry on nerding out about stuff I'm not speaking about. I'll try and be in chat. My mom's still cooking, so I'm just gonna irritate her.
What she's cooking?
She's cooking using an air fryer that is out of this world. Hold on.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how to change my camera around without busting. Can I open this? No. Okay, there. Air fryer. We have electricity for now.
Yeah, so I don't know if you know, but South Africa has lots of electrical grid issues.
Yeah, but we've got an inverter, so basically we run onto battery stuff later on. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Thanks for having me on. And thanks for
letting us let you on your show.
Yeah. Thanks for doing the thing without me, because we need to keep it going. Yeah. And Charles, hopefully you'll be back when I'm back as well, which will be 2 times.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool, guys.
All right. Bye.
See ya.
Thanks for hopping in.
Have a nice life. Bye.
What?
So I wanted to quickly explain. I don't know if Charles is in touch or understood like what was happening with the.
He's out of touch.
Yeah. Okay. So what happened
everything.
is Gray. I didn't read Wheel of Time or didn't watch Wheel of Time, but here is my understanding, because I'm not a movie person. I'm the local video game person. Gray.
And I know not everyone has seen like season 2, so I will not spoil it.
So Gray.
But I can criticize it without doing that.
Yeah. Gray committed the unforgivable sin of watching the Wheel of Time show first. Look at that cat shaking its head. And then experiencing the books, if I recall correctly.
Me?
No,
I've known them forever, and I've just not forever.
Oh, so
I probably read it like 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But I love them. Yeah, I've read all 15 of the books and then was excited that Amazon was going to do it. I really hated the depiction, but understood some of the changes that they made for the first season. It's like, okay, I get it. Like, you got 15 books, you're going to take it down to 8 seasons, and you only get 8 episodes per season, and these are like huge books. So I don't know, a lot is going to be cut, but the choices they made for the first season just rubbed me so wrong. Like, they did not get any of the characters' motivations. They completely changed the characters. And then for season 2, it seemed like they were back on track for a little bit. But the way that they ended this, they don't understand any of the characters. And they've just like thrown all of the... So he has one of the most well thought out, like well mapped magic systems. It's a hard magic system. They don't seem to understand it. It's really bad. So yeah, I take back anything positive I said about the show, that like, you know, it's kind of like just an interpretation of it. It's like, no, they do not know what the hell they're doing. They're not interpreting it well. It is just, yeah, it is not good. That being said, it's cool to see some of this stuff depicted. It's going to be how people remember it, but it's not Wheel of Time, and I think they're doing it a disservice.
I was hoping that you would be the outlier, and you would be just keep bringing in the. Oh, I actually like this energy.
I appreciate it. So it's got like 2.5 good episodes in the 2 seasons, and that's the problem.
Yeah,
but that was when I gave it some praise. Like, I think they understand it. They don't.
I understand
they
maybe shouldn't be worried with like the whole thing. Like, for example, I felt the same way when people told me that, hey, the Foundation is getting a TV series, and I was like, oh no, how are you going to do that? Like, what are you going to do with like the amount of stuff that you have to cut? And for stuff to still make sense, you are going to have to simplify or rather leave out stuff that you can get tangled in a web and write yourself into a corner real easily because if you leave out things, it will actually come back and bite you, because you will be running on a completely different motivations and situations by the end, even though you might not realize
what they're doing in this one. To the point that they basically like just completely like wrote off the entire finale for the first season. Like, everything that happened there, they're basically like, it didn't happen. So it's really weird. They wrote themselves into a corner, and they should get some leeway for the first season because it was in the middle of COVID, and they lost one of the lead actors in it, so they had to like take everything that character is supposed to do and put it on other characters.
Oh yeah,
it sucks. But still, the choices that they made there are just horrible, and then they wrote themselves into a corner, and they basically, yeah. I think it would just be spoilers if I go into too much more, but they don't understand any of the characters, and because of it, it just feels like this is not that show. They don't understand what they're doing.
So
but
the already incredibly hard task of essentially transforming something that into a movie, combined with COVID, combined with the misunderstanding, combined with all of that, leads into.
And the execution of this sucks too. Like, I do not think it is a woke property at all, and I could totally defend it, and I'd love to have that debate at some point. But the way that they did this show, it totally comes off like it is just like all girl power, and I could understand the idea, like the argument that somebody could bring in that this is just such a woke show. You'll have to see it, and then I would love to talk to you about it, Andrew, because I see how people are going to like prop this up. I could, again, I don't want to give spoilers, but it's like there's so many elements that people would just be like, this is woke.
Nah.
The book series is not, though. Like, it's really weird.
Well,
so I think they just did themselves a disservice. Even if they
shifting back to Wizard of the Coast, right? I think that the argument, or what's going on here with Wizards, is that they are using this controversy, other controversies that they got going on, or rather, sorry, they're using the witch thing as smokescreen for their anti-corporate or anti-consumer, anti-worker scandals that they have going on. And I think that is actually the more interesting conversation.
Essentially, this isn't the first word that they've changed. Like, they've removed race, they've switched tribal with typal. So
it's like I can see why it would be a natural progression of we are going to go in this way, and we are going to like cleanse all of these words and change them so it can't possibly offend anyone, even though like literally no one complained. But I can also see why we got this hardcore anti-consumer stuff going on, that we rather want to force people into buying this one of our stuff and restrict what they can do with all of the system that we originally made for fun, and instead we are just going to try to fill our wallets. And no, you don't understand. Look at all of this good we are doing. We are changing the words. See, it's like, yeah, but like it's. I can also understand why someone would say, "Oh, it's just coincided. They were already doing all of these word changes." But it's not a good look, definitely. Try to simultaneously balance this out as like, listen, it's maybe anti-consumerist and fuck you over at every turn when you're trying to enjoy what we created. But also, hey, look at us. We are definitely good guys. We are changing the world.
Where's the
well, wait, hold on. I just wanted to say, one of the things that I had also noticed about this controversy is that by cutting these kinds of things out, we have less representation.
Well, that's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Where's the line?
Yeah. That you have what do you call it? People have complained that by cutting out druids, you're having less Celtic representation. That people appreciated having it in the game because it introduced and represented aspects of their culture to other people, and by cutting that out,
even learn about it.
Have it.
And this is exactly why I brought up did anyone actually complain? Did anyone who was a self-proclaimed druid or witch, did any of them even like established communications with these kind of people and said, hey, we would appreciate if you did this for our sakes? Because I have a feeling, a little voice in the back of my mind that is saying, actually, probably the vast majority of these people would rather be grateful and be enjoying the fact that they can be represented or played as or be explored this inspiration, or this something they enjoy, something that they interest them, potentially as this other thing that they identify or consider themselves as or do on a daily basis, or are that thing. And instead of removing it, you are moving into this more sanitized, cleansed version of the entire idea that this might be considered by somebody to be bad representation, so we're not going to do it at all, just in case.
Right. Well,
I'm really happy you brought that up. I had a point that I was going to be speaking to before Kitty hopped in, and I'm really sorry, Dorcas. I'll pass it off to you as quickly as I can. We all know about the predilection of HR departments to get a little bit too like in the weeds about certain things, and Seattle is kind of the epicenter of that. A small local company like Wizards of the Coast, their HR department has significant DEI presence within it, and the whole purpose of these departments in larger companies here is to find ways that you could be misrepresenting people or not giving them their time
when you have a department that's looking for trouble, they're gonna find it. Looking for problems, they're gonna
it
find
sounds like essentially the UI designers at YouTube who are paid every year to completely change up elements of the interface just so it's annoying and people have to learn it again even when there is no need and actually nobody complained. Or the people at Windows who insist or repeatedly putting the search bar at the bottom left in your taskbar on the screen again and again, even after you disable it, because we have to update it. It's a new feature. This is what we are paid for, because it's part of like corporation decadence or essentially internal stuff. Or this is a job that we paid for. They must do something. The equivalent of a government agency having somebody who works on the elevators and pushes the button for you, because that is a job. That is an office that must be there. It's kind of,
Well, and I think that. Oh, sorry. No, I was going to go on a tangent. Go ahead.
Well, I do think that with the name changes in particular is primarily a company culture situation.
That could be V2.
And how many times can you change a name before the word you're using no longer represents the concept that you are trying to encapsulate? So we want to change the word witch, but we want to keep more or less witches in the game. So we'll just call them magic users. Well, magic users can apply to wizards and sorcerers and warlocks and so on and so forth. And
so is it just witches that they banned, or are warlocks also banned?
No, it's just witches.
It's just witches. There were rumors about druid and shaman. They have already changed race to species, and they have stopped using tribal to mean typal. So
it sounds like a lot of trouble for something that's potentially like was not even unrequested, but will essentially harm the game and complicate things overly in the long term. Really, I can't compare it to anything that like the updates that Windows or YouTube forces upon you. It's like, who asked for this really?
When was this exact thing? No, that was earlier this year. No, they have the problems with Magic the Gathering that about that they're trying. Okay, so Magic the Gathering, I don't know if you know, Charles, but it's a card game. It's also by Wizards of the Coast, and they have been squeezing their player base for money, not for years, right? But it has recently escalated even more. They have a product, a version of Magic the Gathering called Commander. It's a deck of 100 cards versus the normal 60, and you can only have one of each type of card rather than the option of having up to 4 of the same type in Standard. And so with their pre-packaged Commander decks, just the other month, it was either in August or I think it was like August. In August, the prepackaged Commander decks cost $50. And I think it's either started in September. Yeah, I think it started in September. They now cost $100. They literally doubled it.
That's gonna be good for PR. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
They
in of itself wouldn't be that big of a problem unless the company didn't have a history of explicitly trying to use past glory or running on fumes from previous creators and squeezing their user base harder and harder, essentially.
Yeah. And they also have been overprinting their cards so that so there's a secondary market, right, where people will open packs of random cards and then keep some, sell others, or just buy a whole bunch of random cards and then sell it all to get as much money back as possible.
Or buy specifics, yeah.
Right, yeah, exactly. And so they have like almost overtly claimed now, have come out and said they literally don't care at all about the secondary market, which is like
they want people to buy directly from them as well.
So that
probably if they want to stomp down on that or squeeze it down, essentially that's going to be super unhealthy for essentially the customer base and everybody who does it. Not even talking about the market economics and how healthy and even beneficial it can be or help you foresee other problems or solve other situations, but just to be so blinded and short-sighted of no, you don't understand. This is competition. We have to stop it. It's like, yeah, but it's kind of permeated this unhealthy view of essentially squeeze out income at all costs and with no regard.
Not unlike old school. Well, not old school, but back when Microsoft, with their new Xbox, when they tried to introduce or tried to block out resales of games with GameStop. Is it something akin to that?
Yeah. Well, they say, okay, so Wizards of the Coast in January of this year, there was an internal memo that leaked that said that executives see the customers as obstacles between them and their money.
Oh God, that won't look good at all. Yeah, and that came out around the time of the OGL debacle.
Yeah,
so losing a hell of a lot of goodwill.
Yeah, so the Open Game License, or OGL, was something that they developed. I believe it was in the 90s. And so
designed to be irrevocable.
Right. Well, yeah.
The word irrevocable was not in. The word irrevocable was not in common use legally at the time, so it didn't have the word irrevocable. Okay. But everything about it was designed to be irrevocable.
Yeah, and so the point of it was that people could use the D&D system and they could reskin it and sell it as their own product. And the basic concept is that if we have more people in the game space, then it'll be better for the community overall. And as a long-term strategy for Wizards of the Coast, it allows a bigger player base for them to potentially
It's very healthy in development for long term. Like, this is actually something that you would want if you are aiming and already are like a big influence in this specific type of game industry. And again, essentially targeting this and squashing down and say, no, I just want the income part of it, betrays this understanding of essentially you don't know anything about customers, you don't know how to treat it, you don't know how to probably set up a business run or have a proper reputation or do any sort of anything other than just see the numbers go up, and you're completely blind to anything else, just stampeding towards anything, just more money, unable to see anything other than short-term gain. This is kind of you can do this. It is called a psychological experiment on children, a candy test, I think, essentially asking really young children whether they want one candy now or 10 tomorrow, potentially. It's very simple. I don't exactly recall what it is used for or for why in terms of experimentation, but for such a massive and influential company with such incredibly complicated and advanced a corporate leadership to essentially not be able to do the 10 candy tomorrow is kind of a sign of internal problems and internal collapse, even potentially of people losing their way or essentially what they want other than just money at all cost.
So in January, they had the open game license where they had they said that we said originally, yes, in the original 1.0 that you could do all of this stuff, but in 1.1 we own all of your stuff, and so we can use any of your products. We can publish our versions. Yeah, and force you to stop using it. We can publish your stuff and ourselves and not pay you anything for using it. And if you make over what is it, 75 grand in gross sales, then you owe us 25% of that. Just for the privilege of using D&D. And this is retroactive, so that everything that you've already retroactive to all every product that was made using the original open game license.
There are also elements in there that were designed to shut down virtual tabletops like Foundry and Roll20.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they want everyone to be on D&D Beyond, which is their own one that they can charge people money for.
Yes, so once again, it's the destruction of the secondary market, because we don't care about reputation, we don't care about long-term support, we don't care about long-term growth or health or variation or any sort of community development. We just want income at all costs. Like it's
monopolizing. Do they have a patent on the style in which the game is?
Sort of. It relates to the open game license, but yeah, that's why
things. They have things like Gith and Mind Flayer and Strahd, but the gaming system, the idea of rolling dice and writing down stats, they do not.
Of course
it would be a troublesome thing to own that. That would be a bad sign.
Yeah.
They would be in a fight with many other companies over that.
Also semi-related,
but to say about that, I think.
Also semi-related, but the PR person that they chose to try and handle the OGL debacle also said they didn't want white men playing the game. So
why? That's such an there's literally no reason to say we are arbitrarily going to cut out this demographic because we don't want them to play our game. It's them fucking Indonesian girls who are ruining this. Like,
don't you know?
Like, there is nothing you can achieve with this. Nothing other than alienating a lot of people and making them angry.
If there are white men there, you cannot be diverse. Like, it's a well-known fact.
Yes, don't you just know all Europeans are the same? We have this. We are literally the same thing. We are just all white men. Absolutely.
And then that I do believe that leads to the rise of like what was that, the recreation of what is it, the original company name that they bought the license from, TRO, I think it's called, or something. But this one guy, he used the so Wizards of the Coast let the original company name copyright, the trademark, lapse, so they no longer own it, and so then somebody else bought it, right? And then he's making his own tabletop RPG using one of the licenses that's in dispute, and it was leaked that he was like, in the race description, was saying stuff like, just like in the real world, some races are better than others.
Oh boy.
And it's like, what the hell is this?
That's gross.
I feel like that you give air to those people when you say that like certain people can't play the game.
Yes, and so you absolutely are giving them
we want to be inclusive.
By implicitly saying that they are not good enough to play this game, or they don't deserve to enjoy this game, or they are all like this way, or they think all this way. They all represent this. It is this taking this incredibly bright brush and essentially painting over an entire group of people who have barely anything in common aside from geolocation. As no, you don't understand. You are all the same. You deserve to be treated this way. We, the company, have decreed it. It's like,
and I don't want to misrepresent what was said in any way. So I found the statement, and I just want to read it super quickly.
Sure.
He said, and I quote, "This is not the face of the hobby anymore," Brink said. And I think there's been mistakes made in years past where people assumed that D&D players were all, white dudes in a basement, which has been a faulty assumption for a lot of years and gets more and more false every day. And so in my viewpoint, guys like me can't leave soon enough.
Yeah,
what is that?
What date was that? What year?
What year?
It was, in the last...
it was this year, right?
It was when the OGL stuff. I think it was this year.
Yeah, that's what it was in January. It would have been in January or February this year.
The article came out February 9th, 2023, so it was around there.
Okay, so does the acquisition of them being a subsidiary of Hasbro have something to do with it?
Yeah.
Yes.
But what's weird is that the current CEO of Hasbro came from Wizards of the Coast. It's really weird.
Yeah, because it sounds very corporate.
Yeah, exactly. No, and speaking of corporate decisions, not long ago, still this year, I believe it was over the summer. Some guy got his hands on some Magic cards before they were officially released.
Yeah.
Yep. And so
then
then he was leaking them, right? And then Wizards of the Coast sent literal Pinkertons to go and retrieve them. And I don't know if you know who the Pinkertons are, but they are like mercenaries that acted as like union busters and break your kneecaps type people. And they threatened him, they threatened his family, they threatened his elderly neighbors, not only with legal action, but with physical violence.
They sent the real IRA after this guy for leaking some fucking cards.
That he didn't know he was leaking because it was WotC's, it was Hasbro's mistake by sending him the cards in the first place. They sent him the wrong cards.
Yeah.
He didn't know.
Doesn't look good. Doesn't look at all.
Yeah, see, we're gonna break your kneecaps to teach you to not let us make a mistake again.
Yeah.
So they've been on a downward spiral, and their stock has been dropping precipitously.
Yeah.
Understandable at this point, really.
But there's an interesting, unique quality that I wanted to talk about with this situation, right? Because my 5 ebooks were made in, I think, 2017. If I go take a look, which I don't want to do just this second. And like, there's nothing stopping, us as individuals at the table playing and still using the word witch, right?
Right.
But it's still becoming harder and harder. And you do want that stream of new content. And oftentimes these fans, these third-party systems are frankly not systems, but like adjustments. These homebrew ideas are often better than what WotC has come out with, or improvements upon. So, but we also need that base. And there are other games. There's and other companies. There's Paizo. There's Pathfinder and Starfinder and all these other things, but it's still a net negative for us as players, and it's.
If I may bring an example, I've been modding video games since I was 3. That's hard to believe, but that's how I also learned to read. So I'm pretty big into modding video games. This reminds me of somebody creating a game from the ground up. So you can add additional modules, change it, rewrite the code. So be super mod friendly, and to have Steam Workshop for it, whatever, everything. And then just deciding that we are going to go after the mods. We are going to essentially ban them, completely restrict them, make it unmoddable, everything. And let me tell you, there is no quicker way to kill a video game than to make sure that you won't allow a modding community to be there, because those guys extend it by years and years. So in this case, something that is built fundamentally on individual creativity, literally the point of the entire game, And going after that in conjunction is, you are cutting the tree under yourself. Really, what can I say? Even it really does sound like somebody essentially doomed the ship up there in the higher echelons of leadership, unable to see anything other than the money in front of them.
I know I may sound like an old fart here, but there is something magical about the pen and paper aspect to it. Like D&D Beyond is great, and there are a lot of wonderful qualities to being able to play over Zoom or Roll20, but D&D is also headed in this direction where they want people to have to use D&D and Beyond and do microtransactions for different elements of the game, and that is like, I don't mind it being there as an option, but to make it primary and forced is such a terrible thing.
Yeah, again, income at all costs. It's forcing essentially, it's what Charles said, forcing a monopoly, then forcing the microtransaction on it and milking it to death. Essentially, it's like eerily EA-like at this point.
Really.
Yeah. No, it's kind of like we talked about this on a previous podcast, but the idea of AI dungeon masters is, I think it's good if it can like fill a gap where you don't have enough dungeon masters, but where you're going to be forcing players into that scenario to have to use an AI dungeon master and then license it, right? So you have to pay for the privilege of using the thing that you may not even want to do, right? And having all of these microtransactions associated with it is disgusting, honestly. I think that if you're going to be having like D&D Beyond, where you have people who can come in and jump into a game, and it's super basic with a pre-written scenario, and have like a dungeon master that can like fill in a gap, right? Like, so you have like a lot. Theoretically, you would have a lobby where people jump in, and then if there's no one who wants to be the DM, you can opt for the AI one.
It's an incredibly good way to get people into the game. That is where you enlarge your fan base, and to go after that and squash that too just for more income shows a severe disregard for you knowing where even income comes from, by the way. But nobody cares about anything but short-term profit these days, unfortunately.
So pardon my ignorance. I'm trying to learn on the fly here.
Sure.
From what I understand of the card game, I remember growing up with it and people playing it in the back of arcades and so on and so forth. So certain cards have much more value than others, if I'm not mistaken. The physical cards. So if somebody has a particularly valuable card and they want to sell it on eBay, isn't that kind of a different version of pay to play, except it's just physically? And
no, you're right. You are right. That is a big complaint, a big criticism of Magic the Gathering in general, is that there are only certain combinations of cards that are competitive, and so then they can sort of gatekeep real competitive play.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, so like it's not like it's a piece of art where it has value because it's so rare. It has value because
it also has gameplay value, not just the rarity that there were only 10 printed or only one printed, the one ring card or something like that. It's actually like desirability in terms of I'm doing this build in the game.
Yeah, it's so it's pay to play in like the most basic form then.
Yes.
Right. And so, but here, this helps with that, but then it also does, it's another money-making scheme, is that what they have in tournaments is what's called standard, where only the past three seasons are acceptable for the current tournament. So you have to keep buying new cards in order to stay in the tournaments. And so so that keeps things from escalating in prices for certain cards too high. but then it also means that they
It's
have
also unhealthy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's unhealthy that you have to be spending, hundreds of dollars a year just to play in tournaments. You can't like perfect a deck or just have general fun. You have to do this kind of thing.
You're locked into a
to do
constant forward
tournaments,
march,
you have
essentially.
to be spending lots of money.
Yeah, if you were just buying a deck from I don't know. I remember my friends were playing it when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like you just bought a deck and it was like, $50 or whatever. Like that was
Yeah.
really all you necessarily needed to start and to continue with, right?
Yeah.
So now
And
what
Are
they're
there
doing is
non-sanctioned tournaments anywhere?
I mean, there are in your local game shops, right? They'll be locally hosted, but nothing with nothing that actually I want to say that there's been some judge, I don't remember. There's some judge drama going on there too, where they are shutting their what was that? Do you remember, Dorcas? There was some drama going in with how they're like training judges, and they want to like how to become a judge is they want to force people to pay for that service through Wizards of the Coast.
Oh no,
That's about the bulk
yeah.
of what I remember.
Yeah.
Is there a fiduciary gain to be had from doing this, or is it just for fun?
Well,
No, it's supposed to be just for fun, but I mean, which is why you theoretically the training resources for being a judge should be free.
Right.
But I mean, they're like they think that it's
income at all costs, baby.
It's under monetized is how they phrase it. They think that yeah.
Love of the game, baby.
Unironically.
Yeah. So yeah.
I think this stream is under monetized. You should be able to. You should pay to be able to watch this stream. Fuck the community and the community growth and getting more subscribers and more live viewers. I just care about short-term income. Oh no! Why is our stock dropping, guys? Why is nobody watching the stream? What could possibly have gone wrong?
It's really toxic and really anti-consumer and
Oh no, it's pro-consumer. It's keep them consuming, if anything.
Oh yeah.
Reminds me of the horror game called The Night of the Consumers. But yeah,
yeah, and they also had what was it? There was the judge drama. There was they were saying that like, oh, it's short term. There's no problem because we have enough judges right now. Because they shut down their. I want to say what happened was they shut down their free resource training for judges. Because they want to retool it to put it in a more monetized system. And then they have what is it? They were saying that we're trying to go after more wealthy customers, so they're like building models off of people who have more disposable income rather than the general public.
It's literally the EA essay that comes to mind about like the EA game design. Say, let's go whale hunting. How to turn players into payers. It's not even hiding it. Like, we are going to milk you for the most amount of cash possible, and we don't care about the product. We don't care about the art. It's so tiresome. It's like and the problem is some of these schemes and companies and people, more and more groups that decide to go this way, some of them will fail. Because some of them will have the public eye and the resilience of their customers to stand up essentially what is basic rights of their own, but some of them are just too big to fail. And I'm worried that potential competition will not, ideally, others would spring up that would be willing to put a better service in free market, but I'm still kind of worried in terms of like them inflicting too much damage and harm in terms of like it becoming just too unhealthy for people to engage in that area. It's
frustrating.
Like, yes,
to say the
it's
least.
frustrating to watch, as in this downward spiral from just more and more insane stuff from a company who are out of touch with their customers. And the fact is that essentially the cherry on top is that it's all retroactive and just going after people's childhood hobbies and memories is, I think.
So
there is
you cannot understate how beloved D&D is.
Right. Oh yeah, and so all of what a lot of okay, so the card game is Magic the Gathering, and what they have said about the Dungeons and Dragons is they want to change, they want to match the monetary gains that they are getting from Magic to Dungeons and Dragons, so that in the upcoming year or so they really want to change the things are going to be having some big changes on a monetary front if they have their way. Now, hopefully, all of this drama and their dropping stock prices will prevent that, but it doesn't look good for Dungeons and Dragon players.
So one of the things that I've been wanting to bring up, Hydra just asked why that's happening, and I think Wizards of the Coast is very much so a Seattle company. And don't get me wrong, it's not like nerds have been averse to spending more money than they should on things that they love. Like, we've been doing that for decades. But Seattle has the largest proportion of millionaires of any city in the United States. And you don't have to just get to a millionaire to be one of the people that's more wealthy than they really should be based off the work they're doing in this city. And so there are a lot of people here with disposable incomes.
More than San Francisco?
There are a lot of people here with disposable incomes that spend their money on frivolous, ridiculous shit. And yeah, when that's the type of people that you are around physically, geographically, it's easy for it to warp your perception of like, oh no, this is just what things are like. People spend money on things they don't need. I don't know anything about.
Everybody has compulsive spending habits. Everybody can just afford to throw away much more money than it's healthy on a bunch of stuff that.
What do you mean you can't spend 3 times the amount of money on this hobby you already play?
Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
and I think it does come from Seattle's culture.
You don't understand. We have to raise the price of the video games to $70, to $80, to $90, put ads in it and put microtransactions in it, or otherwise we might not break even. Meanwhile, please excuse us giving a $2 billion cash bonus to our CEO. Definitely not trying really hard to break even over here, guys.
Totally
the average
non-Americans.
Yeah,
so gentle.
What is it? The average Wizard of the Coast executive makes $200,000 a year.
I expect it to be more than that.
Yeah, well,
that's
I don't know. I don't know how that relates to Seattle, but I mean, in LA that would be nothing. But in Seattle, in Seattle, what was that? Let me look that up because I want that number to be accurate. Because that's just something I heard when I was watching a video. But the what do you call it? The amount of money that they pay their executives in at the top, not just the average, but is really, I looked it up once, but it's really gross. And they're making, what is it? They're making record profits and they are also increasing their prices. These things do not match what is ethical. It is insane.
Or just a good market move at all.
And building off of that, I'm not like an economist guy, but if they do cut out the middleman, if they cut out the retailers, presumably that would mean that if I'm buying straight from Hasbro, it should be cheaper, right? Is that a thing? At least a little bit?
You would assume. Their stock price is nearly 3 times as much as Mattel's, on the heels of Barbie being a massive success.
Really? Interesting.
And they're worth $14 more per share than eBay is, and that's kind of surprising to me. $56 a share for Hasbro. And they're having a rough
They are
year.
really, really, really big. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's not that bad, I guess. I mean, it's theoretically
The size,
a ton of
but
money, but it's only
at
like
some
it's like
point, even
$230,000 a year is the average executive salary. But that's
Is it?
before yeah, it's not what do you call
In
it?
LA?
No, in Seattle.
Oh.
It
Is that specifically to Wizards?
yeah, Wizards. Yeah. Not Hasbro.
The company.
Hasbro probably makes way more. Yeah.
Not people who identify as wizards.
Yeah.
We respect them so much that we remove them from our game.
Yes. Yeah, and that's another thing that somebody pointed out is that by removing all of the pagan aspects of the game for polite reasons, then you are leaving only Christian references, like angels, demons, priests, and whatnot.
Somebody's going to complain about that.
That's bigoted.
Oh, no, we're gonna give big bucks. What are you gonna do? You're gonna then leave those out? It's a bad road to start down at the very
and
beginning.
especially with a game like this, which uses archetypal elements from all kinds of mythology.
Yeah, it goes much deeper than just names.
You're never going to stop. You're just going to keep saying, okay, you can't use witch. Now you can't use hag. Now you can't use druid. Now you can't use foxes. There's no end to it.
I'm waiting for Wizards to denounce the predecessor to Magic. I believe it's called Jihad. Yeah. It was a Middle Eastern, I don't want to say Muslim themed, but it fucking was. It was
Arabic,
Magic before the rules got refined.
But
it's corporate speak. It's all this HR stuff that words can mean more than one thing.
Well, yeah, they can. They're called what, phononyms? That's been a thing for a long time. But just because a word can mean something doesn't mean every time it's used, it's a fucking dog whistle.
Yeah.
And even if you want to defeat the dog whistle, there is a really good way to do it that most people are scared to do. Engage and point out whether you will find out whether or not it's the dog whistle. Like if somebody, for example, sorry for taking such a dark turn in this conversation, but if somebody comes up to me and is like, hey, black people commit this percentage of the crime in the United States, what do you think about that? And it's like, yeah, what do you think about that? Why do you think that is? And from then, if they continue like, well, look at all of the places they live, it's economically bad. It's like, why do you think that is? Well, they just like to live in there, or well, they are living there because of the, like, obviously, if you engage it long enough, it will become apparent whether or not it's a dog whistle or what the person believes. Which is dangerous. Sometimes it's dangerous to let people talk in certain places where they might pursue and gain a large audience to do some pretty heinous things. But if you're scared of a dog whistle, there is a way to reveal it, whether or not it is. Or if somebody will just say, oh yeah, I just think it's because of this reason. Like,
and dude, you can
find it out.
Yeah, just move. Just move.
Yeah.
That
but
easy.
if you continue to engage with what you could see as a potential dog whistle even further past that, then you can actually open up the doors to an opportunity where you can make the ideas that the dog whistle might be portraying as ridiculous as they potentially could be, right? Like if somebody were to be like, despite, and that's why I judge black people, I'd be like, well, you don't know any of these individuals on a person-to-person basis, so you know absolutely nothing about this. Here, let me break down some generalizations that could apply to you and make you feel stupid for doing it to somebody else, or at least point out to other people how stupid it is.
Now,
And the best way, by the way, just to end it on a quick note, is to snap anyone out of this kind of thinking, unless they are monetary. Like you're not going to convince somebody like Nick Fuentes out of this way of thinking because he's financially compensated. But for somebody who legit just believes this because they got convinced into it, I would advise personally. I forgot the name of the guy. Who is the black musician guy who goes to KKK meetings and like collects.
Oh yeah, Daryl Davis. He is my personal hero.
Yes. So
he is my personal fucking hero.
Which is literally just have them talk to these people whom they judge based on a group identity. And then they will slowly go like, well, black people commit more crime because they have the warrior gene and they all like to live in filth. Well, everyone except that one black guy that I talked to, that was really nice. Well, everyone except him and his family. And like him and the people he know. And it's like slowly you will work into like, it's just people, humans. It's not like, and unfortunately, this collectivist method of thinking, of ignoring individual identity and the face of what a human individual can choose to be or become or grow up to be, instead of but just seeing it as, oh, you were born this way, is becoming so and so prevalent in today's society. Or just, for example, in the Wizard of the Coast thing, once again bringing up like the, oh, I can't believe like I can't wait for all of us to leave, like it shouldn't all just be the white nerds. It's like this. I can rarely see any benefit to turn a conversation in this direction of let's just talk collectivism. Let's just treat people as the groups they were born into. It's not going to be healthy, really.
Why can't we just get bigger tables instead of having people leave?
Yeah,
it's my thought. You know.
No,
but speaking of
I've learned very, very recently that's a very silly mentality to have. Very silly.
And like, if you didn't get rid of witch and I wanted to play a witch, would that not be a practice of empathy? Would I not have some sort of learning experience into that culture?
Yeah, exactly. Now it's one thing to be like having like to update like old stereotypes kind of thing, right? And to come out with new like as if you had I don't even know what exactly it would be, but like if you had well, anyways, you could update things to be more complex.
I was just going to say,
without getting rid of it. Yeah,
I was going to say maybe an outside the box, while also being quite corporate way of thinking, is not take things away, but introduce new things that people could relate to, so that you have more stuff to sell.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what a good businessman would do.
Right.
Like, oh, we are concerned about representation.
Yeah.
I just come up with 20 new things to sell to our customers.
Yeah. You know, so this thing can defeat all of the things that we were thinking of getting rid of. I'm not well versed. I apologize.
No, it's a great idea. It's what an apt businessman would do.
Or and how
what is that? Counterpoint. How about you re-release the old, in the 30th anniversary of our card game, we re-release like some of the original of this big original box set of old cards, right? For $1,000, and they're not tournament legal. You can't actually use these cards to play, but we're going to charge you $1,000 for them.
Gross.
Yeah.
There was a sports team in the States that based out of Washington, a football team, that they changed their names because they had what was deemed an offensive name. There is now a petition to rename them by the very group of people who feel that, you know what, and now that we've sat on it for a couple of years, it's actually, not only is it okay, but it was actually quite a positive thing.
Well,
Um,
the
Removing
imagery
political
for that team,
representations, yeah.
the imagery for that team, and the whatever marketing that they engaged with, like none of it was disrespectful.
right,
You know, like the
right.
logo for the team was not a caricature. It was maybe an old style image, but it wasn't done in a
Sure.
way to be demeaning in
Just like
any way.
there's
shape, or form.
in baseball, there's an Atlanta Braves team that
Yeah.
they've been unfazed. The Cleveland Indians have had to
Mhm.
change their names. They did have a rather cartoonized version
Yes,
of things,
they
and
did.
they altered things, and they eventually went to a different team name. But you know, uh, you can overreact way too much in one direction, and
Well,
Yeah.
Well, and as
Yeah.
far as the D&D being a bunch of white
Sorry.
dudes, like, no, you're good.
Don't be sorry. Everybody interrupts everybody over here. Go.
This is
Yeah.
all we
well,
do.
I diverted it to like sports.
That's what
No,
we
no,
do.
good,
We
it's good.
It's an
fucking direct
analogy.
everywhere.
But yeah, like I'm gonna go into sports a little bit here. The D&D being a bunch of white dudes in the basement, that was a stereotype, right?
Mm.
And however accurate it may have been at one point in time, doesn't change the fact that it is a stereotype. Now, if we today had somebody advocating for the NBA, being like, you know what, when people think about basketball, they think about black dudes at the park playing games together. And you know, I think we really need to start changing that. So the sooner that guys like me get out of the sport, you know, it'd be like, what the
Yeah.
fuck are you even on about? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what demographic you're made of. It matters whether or not you love the game. That's all that.
Yeah.
It frustrates me to my core when I hear somebody generalize definitively about certain things, but then it makes me extremely sad when somebody is willing to self-deprecate or self-loathe
Self-hatred,
based
yeah.
off of like this ideological bent.
Yeah.
Especially when it's
And
fiction.
yeah. And when we like speaking of like the sport, right? Or the game, when you leave the table, right, you're also depriving other people of your perspective, your company, your diversity, because everyone in some way is diverse. And so by enlarging the table and getting to know everyone, you are you're making the world, I know it's sappy,
You're
but you're
giving
making
them
the world a
extra
better place.
representation you want. Yes.
Sure.
Well,
You win.
It's just a funny thought occurred to me in a future where it's just a hilarious caricature or an image of perhaps
There is no future.
the
This earth is
afterthoughts
doomed.
of prohibition. It's like, I just imagine the future where Wizard of the Coast has completely taken over the whole D&D thing, and you're only ever allowed to play it online with an AI dungeon master, and everything is microtransaction. And you've got to pay a shit ton of money just to boot it up. And then we got dudes in like some hidden basement somewhere with a bunch of papers and pencils just playing the actual D&D in secret, illegal. It's like, it reminds me of speakeasies from the time of Prohibition. It's like, you can't, it's good. Imagine if like black market D&D will become a thing. It's going to be hilarious.
I mean, like, the perfect example of that happening, I guess on a less illegal standpoint, was the stream you were doing just a little bit ago, Hydra. Like, there's a reason why you're playing. There's a reason you're playing on 1.0 for Elden Ring. You know, you wanted that pure experience.
If Charles doesn't know this, I was streaming in our Discord of me playing through Elden Ring the first time. It was originally just an idea to share it with others of like my honest reaction of what actually happens and me experiencing it for the first time, and me being a huge Soulsborne fan. But it also turned into like a bunch of people just come in and talk about whatever, and it's kind of like the original, just me playing Elden Ring in the background is just kind of the glue that glued it all together, and then it becomes about just a bunch of guys chatting every day about.
We chat about whatever.
Yeah,
and it becomes a community event.
Yeah, it became the community event, and what originally about the 1.0.3 is that when Elden Ring originally came out, I saved it essentially the 1.0.3 separately, because that was as far in as the original day one patch has come out. They ironed out a little bit what they could at the surface, but it was before all of the updates came out that were more so about like toning down all the incredibly OP multiplayer builds, and whereas like the lifeline of the game moved more so into the multiplayer community from everybody just playing through the game. And I wanted to play that original version of the game that is still not completely the raw day one version. Was some problems were fixed, but also not optimized for multiplayer, but how it was originally released, optimized for, you know, people going through the initial things just in PvE forms, instead of like afterwards we are going to have to tweak the stats for this build because players found a way to make it incredibly one-sided. So essentially that was what I was doing. It's why I was playing on an outdated version on purpose, because I always played through Souls games the first time in completely offline mode, and so that's why I decided to do that.
Mhm.
That's the background. Just a quick TLDR.
All right. So one thing that came up in like as a kind of transition, awkward segue, is that in Wizards
Transitioning,
of the
that's
Coast,
woke.
their newest, their newest one of their newest products is called, like, was it Glory of the Giants? They had a debacle in relation to AI art, including that in their official books. And I think that if you're using computer tools to touch up work, I don't think that's a problem. But if Wizards is using this as a method of paying artists less, I think that is really scummy, especially since Wizards of the Coast definitely does have the money to be paying artists a premium price.
And even well before all this, I've known a few artists who worked for Wizards of the Coast, and they were not treated the best. It's not uncommon for them to be used and abused unless your artwork is on that triple S tier level.
Yeah.
Sorry for the derail there.
No, I was almost sneezed. It's gone now, but sorry. But yeah, and leading this into a discussion on AI art, I thought we could watch and respond to a video, not necessarily as a way to critique what's being said, but just as a jumping off point for to kind of like respond to the ideas in the video and not necessarily condemn or support the video maker.
For sure.
If that makes any sense. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just... okay. Now, it is a nearly 40-minute video, so we definitely don't have to finish it. Let me see here. And pop this up. Okay. All right. All right. So, yeah, just let me know. Why is this...
Art is very important to me.
Okay. So, just let me know if you want me to pause, and I'll just pause it right away. Mm-hmm. Video time.
Wait a second. That darn Kitteh? Pause? Pause.
Pause.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. So just, let me know if you want me to pause.
Ever since I was a very young child, my imagination would run wild, creating characters and stories and worlds. And art has always been a profoundly important part of me bringing those worlds into greater reality. It started off with drawing, and that's a passion I still have to this day, creating new characters and depicting the worlds and stories I love to immerse myself in. It was a great revelation to me later on in life. It wasn't actually the physical, mechanical movement of drawing that I was actually enjoying, but it was the creation of something. There was some relaxation found in the methodical kind of movements of scraping a pencil along paper, but the true artistic satisfaction was in what I was creating. Otherwise, why wasn't I just drawing straight lines on a single piece of paper forever? But I do understand that there are some people that fall in love with certain mediums. But
yeah. So I think that that's kind of, I don't know if you can really separate them. I think that when you're drawing, you are okay. Like let's take watercolor versus like acrylic. I was talking with Lucy the other day, and Lucy was talking about the differences between acrylic and watercolor, and how even though they're both painting disciplines, with acrylic, it's very additive. That you're building from a kind of a darker color, and then getting more brighter as you're layering it on, and then also that things are you're having to worry about the additive color wheel, right? Whereas with watercolors, that the more it starts out lighter and becomes more darker the more you're layering on, and you're worried about the negative additive color wheel. Like they actually work differently, these two different color wheels, and so they're different principles, and so it's a totally different skill. And for Lucy, at least, she appreciated how much more skill it takes to make a good watercolor piece of art than it does with acrylic. Is that there's more skill involved. It's a deeper yeah. Anyway, I think hopefully that makes sense. And so I think that you can't necessarily take away. There are some people who are just solely focused on the creation, but I think for a lot of artists, the medium is supremely important. That
It's important that
the
Shad
art of
is
creating,
he's
the
like
act
it's
of
a
creating the
personal.
art.
This is a personal preference, I think, of his, because others would vehemently disagree with like the method and the creation is, that's part of it too. So like it's important that that there are plenty of artists who would consider like far more the journey to be also important rather than the Shad's opinion, which he holds the view personally that the methods and tools and the road which you take might not be the focus, but the actual creation and being able to visualize your thoughts and make them into some form of reality, essentially.
Yeah.
So that's where his argument for what he thinks of AI art is originates from, to some perspective. But it's important to understand that this is an opinion that will be very, 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 very eagerly disputed by a lot of other artists. And it is ultimately comes down to personal taste or preference or expectation, or the way you even go around creating things.
Go ahead.
I think it's very individual driven, right? There are so many different forms of art that obviously the different forms your artwork can take, the different mediums that you choose, very much so can be something that you enjoy in and of itself. There's nothing wrong with that. But there are different motivations for why you pursue that art. Some people, it's a matter of self-expression. Some people, it's a matter of bringing joy to others. Some people, it's a matter of creation. And Dorcas knows, most of you know, I like to cook. And so does Dorcas. He can probably agree with me on this topic here a bit. where there are many different reasons for why somebody would want to put artistry into what they cook. It could be that you want to push your skill boundary and try and do something that you didn't think you could. It could be that you want to create a dish that is something that already exists, but add your own personal flair to it, change it in your own way. Or it could be that you want to be able to make something that somebody else will enjoy, and bringing that joy to them is what brings joy to you. And all of these are perfectly valid.
I would also add that especially with food, it's an expression of culture as well.
Yeah, very much so. It could be I'm recreating something that my family and my family's family has done forever, or even something more geographically cultural, right? But
by
yeah,
the way, just quick interruption. I'm not going to let you undersell yourself, Galante. Don't be essentially deceived by his humility. Galante is like chef level. He's insanely good with like cooking and ideas and everything, and he is a master of the culinary arts, in my opinion.
Yes.
So don't let his humility deceive you.
Well,
this guy is fucking chef level, okay? So
thank you. And I might brag about a recipe later, but yeah, no, the
saying
idea
like Galante just likes to cook. It's like saying, the Range Rover is just a car.
Well, thank you. But the reason why I like to cook is for the creation aspect. I like to make something that I think is unique or delicious, or even just, I don't know, wholesome. It is the end product that I make that what gets me giddy in the process. But my motivation for doing that in the first place is often being able to share it with other people. So you can have multiple different reasons why you want to engage with an art form. And nobody should be able to tell you which ones are right or wrong, in my opinion.
Hopefully I'm not too loud now. Can you guys hear me now? Or is it?
Oh yeah,
you're good.
Okay, I stopped cutting down a tree for just a minute. Okay, well, like when you take a recipe, like could there be art to the way that you change like a pre-existing recipe, or the way that like, you know, this is a trope for like this type of dessert, like this type of cake, or this type of, I mean, that would be baking, but you know, like this type of dish, but you're putting your spin on it. That's kind of how I see AI art. Like it's kind of, you know, it has the base to it, but then you're making different parameters. And I'd like to hear like his argument for it. I might be in favor of it in a different way, but I don't know. I see it kind of akin to that. Would you say that that's less artistic to start with like an existing recipe or dish?
You can
the
make
phrase. No, continue, Galante.
You can make some amazing dishes using something like instant Jello powder, right? Like, just because you're starting with something, heard a phone. Just because you are starting with something that somebody might see as an anathema to what you're doing, doesn't mean that you can't engage with it on a different level than it was intended, or on a different level than people would expect.
The phrase I hear on... sorry, were you not finished?
Oh, I was definitely finished. You're good, Dorcas.
Cool. The phrase I hear frequently on MasterChef is, "It's you on a plate," which seemed pertinent to Gray's point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I agree with what chat is saying. I'm just wondering if AI isn't more like a tool where it is learning from these recipes of the past, and then you're kind of designing the elements that go into these recipes from the past.
Well,
it could be an argument for it.
I would say one of my issues with AI art, as I've looked at a fair amount, I think there's a quality, like an interlinking quality amongst every piece of AI art I've seen that I conceptualize as sameness. I think there is a sameness to each and every bit of AI art. And I think that kind of runs counter to what you might be suggesting, Gray, if I understand what you're suggesting correctly.
It could be. Like, I don't know. It's so I understand what you're saying. I feel like I've only like scratched the surface on this, and I think that could be like his argument here. But it's the potential is. Oh, damn it! I'm hearing a beeping. I'm assuming the tree is about to get cut down again.
We can't hear it. It's fine.
As soon as it does, I think is when I was told that it got way too loud. But
no, it's
sorry,
not
I'm
that
trying
your
to say this really
background is
fast.
too loud. Your voice is loud.
I know. So
Okay.
it's got the auto
Yeah,
whatever that
balancing,
button
yeah.
is that you click. Like, yeah. So every time they go up, it just raises everything up to
Sorry about
like
that.
hear the. I don't know. So yeah, I haven't touched anything, but that was I think what happened before when I was told like I was way too loud too because I couldn't figure it out. I just kept turning down here, but it was the same volume through the thing. But hey, they haven't started up yet. So I don't know. I understand what you're saying about like the sameness of it. I've heard a whole bunch of people say the exact same thing, and I thought so too. But like the more that you learn like the prompts, the negative prompts, like you go into like control net, you can actually like choose like what poses are. You can really change a lot of what's in there, and then you can also go in with I forget what the other layers are, but you can basically like change the hand, like just the hand, and just like do that numerous times until you get exactly the finger placement you want. There's a lot more that goes into it that isn't just like everything is the same. If you're going beyond just kind of like the surface level of it, and I feel like I'm. So don't get me wrong, like I use it for evil or whatever, but I don't know. I think it's really convenient and it helps, but I feel like I'm just scratching the surface on it, and there's so much potential. Like a couple of friends of mine, like one LG specifically, was showing me like what he's doing with it, and it is just like insane. Like he's taking pictures. So he's a strip club DJ. He takes pictures of the dancers and for their promos and stuff, and then like uses the AI to like completely enhance everything and like change the background and
Sure.
just make it like amazing. Like the potential in this is just like so. I don't know. It just seems it is very artistic, but it seems like a tool. Like, would you say like
Yeah.
Photoshop art isn't art? It's like, well, it can be used as a tool to make art. And I think that's kind of what this is, and I kind of see it as like it's using these recipes. But I understand what you're saying. I've definitely heard that criticism before that everything looks the same.
I think that
I felt like I talked way too long, but I was making up for lost time.
Well,
Important distinction,
it's
not
okay.
that everything looks the same, but that there is a sameness quality. Because
Yeah,
like naturally,
it's kind of like spotting CGI where you're like, I don't know what's up with this image or what this scene, but this aspect really feels out of place. I don't know what that is, and so all kind of that feeling is similar each time you see CGI in that way. And it might be that same kind of impression that you're getting from AI art where you're like, I feel there's some aspect of it that is a common element in all of these different AI art pieces. Could that be it?
I believe so. Yeah, I think you've encapsulated it. But Lord Cameron will have a counterpoint in 5 minutes in the Discord that I'm looking.
Oh, okay,
Huzzah.
sure. And so with what do you call it? With AI, I feel like right now we're in this like Jackson Pollock kind of scenario where we're just one, it's sort of like pressing a button, right, to generate an entire image. And so in my linking to Jackson Pollock is kind of like he's just splattering paint, right? But there is artistic qualities there, and there are artistic qualities in even this AI kind of art. But I feel like the real future of AI art is when it is being used as an assist tool for artists to kind of in not necessarily, it could be used in the creation, not just in the enhancing what they've already made, but in order to free them from doing rote wrote procedures, right? So they're able to create amazing the same level as that they're making now, but in much faster times and in a much more precise way. And then they're able to focus on deeper aspects of the art to make things even better than to go beyond what level they're at now, and to focus on aspects that they necessarily didn't have time to before, because a lot of art is like commission. It's not it's either maybe something salary related or some maybe it's gig work, but it has a price tag attached to it beforehand, and time is a big factor in that. So with using AI as a tool, theoretically, you could create something that is at your normal level much quicker, and then go deeper in and make things that much better with the same amount of time. If that makes sense.
So I guess, like, what would we all define? Yes, it does make sense. So like, what would we all define art as? Like, would like the most recent, I think, contemporary weird art thing was the banana taped to the wall. Is that art?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think
that's a separate discussion in of itself, the whole modern art thing, or just me painting a red square.
Well, that's
on
what
a
I mean.
painting,
Like,
but
if we have a different definition, that it has to be something that literally you can see in your mind, and then you're transforming through your hands into it.
Yes, it has to include.
Then I would say AI isn't that.
But
if it's just like Lucy's saying, like creation. If it's just that, I mean, that banana taped to wall is a creation. Like, I don't like it.
People would
I
argue
wouldn't
that
create
90% or an overwhelming majority of the art, quote unquote, value or meaning, or at least sufficient part, the viewer or the interpreter adds to it their own interpretation or something. With modern art at the very least, so you can get very foggy over there.
Well, I think that right here,
Yeah.
IJP is lazy art, and I would say lazy art is art. It's just lazy art. I think that if learning to appreciate skill and complexity and such is a value in and of itself. Stepping away from AI specifically to talk about audio. From what I understand, because I'm not one myself, but audio engineers that work very hard on balancing songs and such, right? They work very hard on getting the right mix and the right depth of a song, and then everybody's listening it on YouTube, where they like just crush all of their work, and it's very
the same
compressed and
reminds me,
just low quality, and all of the complexity of their work is kind of eliminated, and yet people, they don't have an appreciation of the two. I think that is a bigger deal than having YouTube, right? We shouldn't get rid of YouTube because it does that. We should educate the audiences on the differences between the two.
It's also
it's
also not uncommon. Sorry, go on, Gray.
No, please go, Dorcas. I apologize.
It's not uncommon to dislike specific genres or branches of art. I don't particularly like rap. I don't particularly like avant-garde.
I just got to find you some good rap, Dorcas.
It's true, man.
But anyway,
there's so much in that spectrum. But everything is subjective. So I hear what you're saying, Andrew, with like a lot of the audio engineers like don't like YouTube because of the compression, and then it makes it different. But I don't know. We've had this. So sorry, I'm saying for I used to be an audio engineer, but so like we've had restrictions before. You know, like anything you put to vinyl, it only has so much low end. So like if you're putting like rap on vinyl, for instance, like a lot of that low end kind of gets missed. But you need to know how to like mix for that and accommodate for that. So like you find the frequency that's a little bit higher than that, like double it, and then you just kind of emphasize that a little bit. You kind of cut the frequencies near it, and it kind of emphasizes it a little bit more. You can get kind of more of the false bottom end. It's just how you kind of mix that in the end product. If YouTube is like the way that people are doing it, like that's where you're having like the release party or whatever, you just mix it for that. You know what the limitation is going to be, and then you just mix to be on that. So I don't know which one would be easier, like the limitation of the actual like platform itself. If that's where like the audience is going, I don't know.
No, I
Would
definitely
it be
hear
easier
you.
to
It's a
train the
give and
audience
take.
away from there?
It's a give and take.
Because I got to be honest, I listen to a lot of it now on YouTube, and I know it's a diminished quality, but it's either that or like Spotify for me now.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I
don't buy physical media anymore. I don't even have a record player, CD player. I do have a record player. I don't buy records though.
There were two.
So I don't know. It's weird.
There were two things that was said that made me like kind of think of them together. If art is merely defined by the creation, right? Would we consider performance art an art? Because the entire purpose of it is not to create a thing that persists, but to have created an experience that is done and gone and no longer is a thing in reality. Even if it's been recorded, it's easy to argue that the recording is a separate creation than the performance.
I mean, that's theater, isn't it? That's why we
Yeah.
go and see different productions of Romeo and Juliet throughout
Precisely.
the years. No two are the same.
If we're going to take that idea of art being purely creation, then yeah, you could say that the banana being taped to the wall is indeed art because a thing was created for the purpose of being art. But then the guy who came up to said art piece, pulled the banana off and ate it. He was an artist. He said he did it for performance art purposes. I think he was taking the piss and was just upset with this guy for making millions of dollars off of a fucking banana duct taped to a wall.
I know that's where my money lies.
Yeah, but at the same time, what he did was called, and I think should be considered, performance art. But if there's purely just the act of creation being what artwork is, then performance art is just null and void in that category.
Oh, did anyone hear about Take the Money and Run?
No, what?
Oh, is that the Banksy thing?
I don't think so. There was this artist, if I remember it correctly, there was this artist who I guess was contracted by a museum to make an art piece. An art piece. And the artist said, he needed like millions of dollars in cash to use to make his art piece. And then he took the money and he basically made an art piece that basically, what was it? It was just a
blank canvas, wasn't it?
Blank canvas.
I think so. It was a blank canvas with, I think it had like some sort of snarky message, but he titled it "Take the Money and Run," and he basically left with all the cash the museum gave him to use for the art piece. And now the museum is suing him, and I think he had to give it back. And then there were topics about whether or not.
Now I'm curious how they got him on that lawsuit.
Yeah. And so, like, is it the same piece of artwork now that he has to give the money back, or is it not? It was a funny.
Ask the beholder.
No, it was 84,000. It wasn't millions. It was 84,000, but still.
Thank you for fact checking me on it.
Yeah.
I just remember the event, not the detail.
Yeah, I know. It was He in return they received 2 empty canvases, and he titled the work "Take the Money and Run."
Did he sell any prints of it?
Prince makes music.
That he calls a commentary on poor wages. One thing, it's not okay.
Was the canvas transformed in any way, shape, or form? Was there anything done to the canvas?
It wasn't.
Oh.
Yeah, it's my understanding that they were just blank.
Mm-hmm.
But that could be
Is
could
it
be
performance
cynically
art to
reported.
be like
to be
I'm
an
pretty-
employee at Staples? I don't know about that.
I don't know. Like, it is interesting.
The funny thing is, who
As
could
a,
have gotten away with all of it if he just did some very minute alterations
Yeah.
to the cameras.
Yeah.
Somebody brought up Banksy. Banksy just had the thing that like
yeah, that
just
one.
Oh yeah.
it disintegrated in front of people's
Uh-huh.
eyes.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you bought confetti.
Seems like that's a performance
Yep.
art. I don't know.
Yep.
It's fun. I'd consider that art, but I guess I'd consider the banana taped to the wall as well. It's not something that I do, but I don't know.
There, what is it? There's art where the true worth of the art, if you want to call it that, exists in the minds of the audience rather than
eyes of the beholder. Sure.
Yeah, and so I think that should be perceived differently than when you're looking at something that is technically a technical piece of work, like a sculpture that is like, carved from a solid piece of granite or something.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so those two things are different.
A
and should be
post-it
perceived
note.
as different.
A post-it note with soft words written on it, just scribbled on it.
Yeah.
And known that it came from the desk of George Carlin would be worth far more to at least two of us here than some others. So some of you be like, it's just a post-it note. That's a soft word.
Yeah, I literally wouldn't care about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
well, so Charles, can I ask you? So you're a comedian. Do you consider comedy art?
Yes.
Kind of. Okay, I was assuming that would be the case. So if you heard that somebody was using AI to help them with like their set or jokes, would you consider that still art? I know it's a little different than AI art.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so they have an idea.
Is it strong?
I'd
be threatened if anything.
Right. Like,
yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, because with AI art, you don't know if they're then like taking it into Photoshop and like changing it themselves or something like that. If you just hear that they're making AI art,
right?
I think same thing. Like if you heard that like the AI helped me write this set or write this bit, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
now
it seems like you could use it as a tool.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
You could, but like there's performing on stage. There's like a. There's a dance
it's different.
to it. Yeah, timing and being able to figure out when something's working, when something isn't.
So like, I don't know, because like comedians have other people write jokes. Sometimes they have writers and stuff. So I don't know. Like you mentioned, it is the performance. So like with the AI art, you wouldn't then have a performance with it. So I don't know. It does seem a little different. I'm just not sure exactly where I'd fall down on that.
Great.
Yeah.
Sorry. Continue.
I think the I mean, if you had an AI writer for your stage act, it may be a little bit different. But I mean, if you would like perform verbatim whatever the AI wrote your stage material to be, it'd be. I mean, unless the AI kind of figured out how to present a stage, a 10, 15, 25, 35 minute bit to an audience and how to figure out to pause for laughter and how to like it like
it seems like that'd be much different, but
it'd be interesting. I mean, it'd be fascinating to see if AI could. Well, didn't they do something where they had AI write in the style of an author that's been long dead, and it wasn't.
Yeah. So George R.R. Martin and there's like 3 others that are like suing for that. But I mean, like South Park actually had AI finish an episode of theirs, and it kind of worked. I don't know.
Really?
It's weird. Yeah. So it's like I don't know. It is interesting.
So
I'm not sure exactly where I'd fall on.
To speak to the point you guys are going on. I think that it's a matter of execution more than it is the tool that you're using. If you're going to be like Andrew said, if you're going to be making a statue out of a solid piece of granite, like you probably would want to use a hammer and chisel, but you could use a rock and a screwdriver if you wanted to. and it's really the end goal of what you make that's worthwhile. I know this is a dream scenario, but I would love to see an AI write a comedy routine that did have value to it, and give that same comedy routine to George Carlin, Mitch Hedberg, and Brendan Schaub, and see the wildly different fucking acts that you would end up with on stage.
Yeah, because I think the issue with this is that it's far enough removed, but still an integral part of like the whole comedy thing. The base that you essentially like the presentation is like just one half, obviously, and the as to the tool you are working with, would you consider it? How different would you consider it, Galante, if like would it be, aside from value, like how would you consider if I was I would present you, like, because Dorcas is here, like a statue of Augustus, and it was made with a hammer and chisel, as opposed to I had a 3D I had a collection of drones that used their tiny little tools to essentially negative 3D printed out from like just a marble pillar. Would it lose value in your eyes, or would it be ultimately what would matter to you more, the mode of creation, or just would it be enough for me? I designed the statue itself in a 3D software, and it just quote unquote printed out by the drones.
I think that the sorry, no, go ahead.
I do think that it definitely does it for me inherently reduce the amount of and the amount that I am impressed by the creation, for sure. But this is exactly why I was saying, give that same AI scripted comedy routine to two very different but very phenomenal comedians, and then give it to somebody like Brendan Schaub and watch him fucking flounder on stage. You know, like, it's still the same set. It's more about how it is portrayed, and that will influence the amount of respect that I have for the art.
What if Carlin, Hedberg can't handle it because they're used to writing for themselves, and Shaw is actually helped by it?
And that very well could be the case, because tone is very unique to each individual. But at the same time, I would have more faith in Carlin and Hedberg being able to salvage some gold out of something that they're not necessarily super familiar with than I would Schaub being funny, period.
Yeah, AI is what? It's just constantly, it's based on a ton of what if questions. Well, if this happens, then this. So it's like learning. So it's self-taught based on something, an amalgamation of something. So it would be some sort of bizarre Frankenstein's monster hybrid of some version of stand-up. And I'm sure if you were taught enough and, you know, just went basically on whatever, like this Google rabbit hole of stand-up and had to write a set based on everything that you've taught yourself, although it not being tailored for somebody specifically, it would be, I mean, if it kills, it kills. There are a number of comedians that think that, I mean, Seinfeld most notably, if the room laughs, that's all that matters. Well, I don't know if I entirely agree with that, but you know.
Well, an important question is,
the room was laughing at Gringo Poppy, though.
Okay, wait. Now everybody, and here's the thing too. Everyone laughed at the room, but Tommy Wiseau didn't originally make it to be laughed at.
Yeah. He altered that.
Now he's saying it is, though.
Is competency art? By which I mean, if you took something that isn't necessarily art, like say there's a chess grandmaster, the best chess player in the world, but he doesn't do tournaments or anything, he just plays in the park with his friends. Is him playing art?
I personally think so.
Of a talent.
Talent, sure.
I personally think that there is an art form in a beautiful game.
what if that was my question essentially. What if he wins in like an incredibly like visually appeasing way? For an example, something that would be somebody would be unable to create this beautiful collection of pieces in this pattern and still win the game. Like, for an example, would that be just him showing off his skills, that I managed to make the table look good and still checkmate my opponent while creating this visually appealing pattern? Or would it be more artsy or artful?
I'm talking like no element of trying to look good. So like someone who works in a warehouse stacking boxes, but just better at it than everyone else because he has done it longer than anyone else, or as he has that natural affinity.
So just pure competence. That's it.
Yes.
Well, so have you all seen both the Hitchcock Psycho and the 1998 version of Psycho?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's been a long time, but
to the eye test, what's the difference other than Anne Heche's asshole?
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn. Fair enough.
To speak to it, I think it's kind of context dependent, right? Like if we're talking about somebody stacking boxes and being extremely efficient about it, you can have some admiration and appreciation for the task at hand. But I think a game in particular brings in a different sort of element to it. Yeah, and Gray, if you read my book suggestion at some point, you'll understand where I'm pulling this from. But there is something to be said about a beautiful game. I play at a pinball hall that has some of the world's best pinball players come through on a weekly basis, and so I'll sit there and just watch people play a game that, to me, it's almost baffling seeing them have this level of built-up skill and intuition into the game, that to me it becomes almost a bit of performance art, even though it's just playing a game. To each their own on that, though.
I think that too.
I can't describe that to other people, you know.
Yeah, if there's some subjectivity to it, I would assume. I mean, somebody brought up sex before in the chat.
Yeah.
Is sex art? Porn.
100%.
What we're taught in film school, porn is not art. It has no artistic merit as far as porn is concerned. But if you can perform the acts far better or to a certain degree that other people can't, then sure.
Has anyone here seen
probably art that goes into it, like angles, framing, lighting? Like, I don't know.
But does it evoke any emotion? I'm sorry?
Well, has anyone performed for a crowd before? Like,
not like that.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm specifically.
No, I did not perform that publicly, but
yeah, no.
Yes, I did music. Charles did comedy.
Well,
I
speaking
think
as someone who has performed, I mean, it invokes a lot of emotions in a lot of different people, and I've seen people.
Sure.
So I mean, it definitely can be artistic in a way that maybe people wouldn't say so for porn.
Oh yeah, no, I
meant that. I meant specifically. So as someone who has,
I didn't mean. I was just listing what the definition is by school standards.
Sure.
If it does not, well, I forgot what I even said. But yeah, as far as film school, as far as the art of technique is concerned, pornographic films, and like you said, Gray, being able to light it and shoot it, you need to know what you're doing, especially with the things that you're doing within the scene. There's
just seems like there's still framing.
Yeah.
You still got to choose like the right angles, the right
Sure.
lenses.
I
like,
think a
I don't
lot of
know.
people would agree.
I'm not calling that necessarily
yes, even if they wouldn't, even if somebody would be like hardcore, under no circumstances should anything pornographic ever be considered art. They would still have to concede that it requires great skill for the camera and everything. So that at the very least, that could have artistic element, if nothing else. Even if you are like on the hardcore position of no, never, like still, you gotta be at least skill invested.
To quote a Serbian film, the director says, "The art of fuck."
Yeah. So
what about AI porn? Would that be art?
Oh wow!
So
my
with this, you can
goodness.
find artistic things, but I don't know. Once
in the same
AI
way that
analyzes
any AI
it and
art
chooses
could
its
be,
own,
I would say yes.
Consider what AI has done to hands. I'm dying to know what AI porn
hey, tentacle things are popular.
There you go.
So who knows?
2 breasts and 5 nipples. But no,
listen, if you think logically, a finger usually has another finger beside it, and to the left or right, the breast usually has another one beside it. So
hands are definitely a problem. Feet are definitely a problem. I wonder
are
how
faces.
people who have those fetishes, what they think.
Oh,
Is it an abomination, or is it
What
like
if it
really
creates new
interesting?
fetishes, though?
Yeah.
I mean,
AI
people like
fetishes.
extra toes, extra hands. Yeah, like ooh.
I need nipples instead of belly buttons.
This is like half meme, half point here. But like, as far as porn being art, has anyone here heard of Pirates XXX?
No.
I don't know.
So it is.
Oh wait, is it the porn parody of the Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
and
I've heard of it. Yeah,
at least at the time, it was the highest budgeted porn of all time. It might
That's what
still
I
be.
heard of it.
How much did
But
it cost?
Is it? I don't know how familiar you are, but does it look like a high budget film? I mean,
not
like
a high budget film, but it does not look like a porn either.
Because I remember there was one like an old Sam Raimi Spider-Man knockoff that was like Spider Babe or something like that would play on like Showtime when I was a kid. I'm just saying, like I've seen really bad parodies. So like, did this at least look artistic for a parody? Usually they're not looking at art for the parody.
So the reason that I'm bringing it up is specifically because there is Pirates XXX, which is the porno, and then there's Pirates, which is the same exact fucking movie, just with the sex scenes missing.
Interesting.
And it was actually, it was sold without the sex scenes in it to try and recoup some of the cost of actually making it. But it goes to show, it's a parody B movie at that point. But at the same time, it does go to show that there was at least enough in there to make a narrative of some sort without the sex being involved in the first place. So it seems like it's able to hit that
money that way.
Some
of it. Holy fucking shit! That's a giant spider in my house.
I feel bad. I bet you the director wanted to stop making porn movies, but the only way that they would let him do like his, Pirates sequel, they were like, yeah, well, if you include porn in it somehow, we'll let you do it. And he was like,
this was actually intentionally done to be a porno spoof of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, who put that much money in that? Because the studio mentality, they'd be like, yeah, we need return on investment on this one.
I'm sorry to interject, but I need to respond to Lord Cameron super quickly.
Okay, go.
Yeah.
Which one? Where?
In the AI art channel.
Okay.
So he has said that these aren't necessarily the best examples to illustrate his point, but I want to clarify, I'm not referring to art style. I'm not referring to the difference between an anime style versus a photorealistic style versus an abstract type style. I'm referring to a less easily definable quality of, I can tell a robot made this. Not quite Uncanny Valley, but just a more nebulous quality.
Yes, like even if, like, for example, the picture that's like the couple in the cinema, immediately if you look at the fingers, you can tell, obviously. But even if the fingers weren't there messed up, what the point is that it's hard to describe, but there is a feeling where you look at it, it's like, this is not made, this wasn't made by a person. It's like you can somehow tell.
There's a in Left 4 Dead 2, one of the campaigns, because if anyone's not familiar with Left 4 Dead 2, the campaigns are set up as individual movies in and of themselves, even though there's a through line. But each campaign has its own movie poster as like the loading screen visual. And the female character from Left 4 Dead 2 in one of the campaigns has a movie poster in which she has 3 hands. She has her hand that she's holding the gun with. She has her hand that she's holding her hand that's holding the gun with, and another hand holding the hand that's holding the gun. And that was made by a person. Like, this is well before AI. And so you'll find examples of this weird uncanny valley thing happening naturally throughout people too. It's not distinct to AI. It could just be a mistake.
Yeah, it's not the like I'm pretty sure that Dorcas was referring to like this not really intangible, can't really word it well. Yeah.
Well, the reason I bring it up is because when you look at it, it does make you think an AI drew this, but this was well before AI already
retroactively that you've been exposed to all of what the AI art might look like. You look back with the current, like your current experience retroactively. Yeah.
Right. So Lord Cameron's saying that not all of these photos
let me
are
just bring
AI
it up.
art.
This is what he's talking about.
And I'm not saying I necessarily have the skill or the eye to tell the difference, but if I had to guess, at least one of these real ones, I might say it's that middle right one.
Wait,
if I were to guess,
the people in the theater are not real?
No, look at the finger.
This is AI.
You can tell easily.
Oh, yeah, that one's AI.
The left hand, there you have the very right finger, and on the right hand, the upper hand, you have 2 fingers molding into one as well. Yeah.
What are they based on?
What? She can't just be manly in her hand?
Manly, 2 fingers.
It seems like they're probably based off of pictures of real people that already existed online, and an AI making a rough sketch of
what drinking out of a popcorn bucket.
It's got a Starbucks.
Who wouldn't drink out of a popcorn? You're in the movie theater. You've got to.
Lord Cameron, my statement was not on whether or not it's art or not.
Yeah, but I mean, like, okay, so stock photos, don't they have like you can always tell when a stock photo is kind of being used in like a video or whatever. I don't know. Like, I still think there's art to that, but I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can tell, like, okay, it's like people don't really like stand around an office table like that. They don't really like, I don't know. There's just something to it. You can just see a stock photo when somebody like puts it up there. I don't know. I would still consider it an art if it's.
I'm sorry.
So I don't know. I get what you're saying, that you get a different feeling from it. Like, I get a feeling from like stock photos or whatever. Yeah. But
Lord Cameron, I'm not quite sure how to rephrase my point outside of that. I tend to think that amongst all of the AI art I have seen, there is an indefinable sameness to them. I don't quite know how else to say it. That's not a position on whether or not AI art is art or not. Just
isn't what makes art something that isn't what art's supposed to be something that challenges you? And we're literally proving that.
Yeah.
We're being challenged.
I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've been to some really bad, I forget what they call it. Like, I don't know. It's beyond abstract. Like, abstract could be like anything, but it's like land art or whatever. Like, I don't quite understand it, but yeah, it's like, okay, I get it. Like, it's kind of challenging me in a way. Like, I'm trying to grasp what they're doing, but I guess same with like the piss Christ or like the banana being taped to the wall. Like, I guess it's challenging you, but I don't know. Like,
I think that
is that enough? Is that
me challenged? I challenge thee.
Yeah.
Well, a car accident challenges my ability to live, but that doesn't instantly give it
It
validity.
could be artistic, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you've seen some in movies where it's just, like, so amazing, like, they do it in slow motion, like, you see, like, things fly through the like, it could
Yeah, I've
be
seen Fast
artistic,
9.
so I
I'm
don't know.
sure stunt double.
Yeah,
they-
exactly.
They do it pretty artistically. Watch me wrap this around a tree.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I do
Well, they
just
survive,
feel like
they survive.
being challenged by something that someone else created is, again, an entirely subjective experience. And art's probably the most subjective topic to be spoken about ever in human history.
Mm.
But it's,
Yeah, well, yeah.
I do think that inherently built into it is this understanding that not everybody's going to have the same line, you know? And just because something is challenging to somebody and therefore they appreciate it, doesn't mean that somebody else is going to either.
I think if everybody can do it, I don't think it should be considered art. Everybody can do it to the degree
The
that
same degree. The
Yeah.
same, yeah.
yeah.
I also disagree with the assertion that because if there's a sameness, it should be recognizable. Because I'm speaking more of an instinctual element here, and I don't know that I could specify which ones are which. I mean, I can make my guesses, but.
And another example of something giving a type of vibe that you just pick up on, even though you can't quite define it. Rotoscoping has that same sort of, I don't know, almost unmistakable difference to it. I was going to plug somebody else's channel real quick. Wendigoon has, I'm not really a big fan of his channel. Wendigoon, I'm not a huge fan of his channel, but he put out a video about a game called Faith: The Unholy Trinity.
That's I know all about that game.
And they did a lot of rotoscoping for that, which is where they have live action people doing the actual movements, but then superimpose the images from that into the Atari 3600 style. And it created some very, very
unique
creepy artwork.
Yeah. Unmatched horror. That's
really cool.
Yeah, but
it's really, really, really interesting, really unique horror.
When you watch some of the animations in that game play out, it has a very similar sort of response in the brain to what, like, say, a Scanner Darkly did, where they had all the actors playing out the movie and then just rotoscoped it into.
Yeah, rotoscoped it. Yeah, that was really good. I actually really like that movie. I don't know how it.
There's
how other
kind of a
people
more
felt about
recent
it,
version of that on like Prime Video. I can't remember which one it's called, but it's all like rotoscoped like that. But it's kind of like the next level of that type of deal. It just has a weird. I don't know. It's a very artistic thing, but I don't know. It's interesting. It lets you do so much more if you can just animate like everything else, but you just kind of have the movement rotoscoped. I don't know. I would still consider that art, but I don't know. How much would it have to challenge you if like that's the I don't know, definition of it, I guess. I don't know, because I think there's like that banana taped to the wall. Like I think anyone could do that. I think it kind of challenges you to be like, why is this art?
It challenges you not to.
But I guess I'd consider that art. Fair enough.
Okay, so
But,
here's a argument I heard. Well, okay, an interesting, a genuinely thought-provoking anecdote that I heard from Mahler is that when he was a kid, and school did a video or a walkthrough of a museum, there was this piece in a corner where it was just a fire hydrant, and people were just a fire hydrant in the middle of the room, and people gathered around it, and they were discussing what it means, what's trying to be said by the artist, and then either a custodian or a security guard just walked over and was like, "Oh, sorry, no, somebody left this here. They put it back on the wall where it belonged." It was not an art exhibit. It was just an accident that somebody left it there. But it generated a lot of artistic discussion from this incident and the setting of it being in a museum. And so,
can art be created? Can good art even be created on complete accident, unintentional?
Yes, yes. There's a story about somebody who had a wet floor thing in a museum, and people thought it was some avant-garde exhibit where they were like, "Ooh,
yeah.
I get it." And it's like, no, the floor's wet.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that these things that are like in the mind of the observer, I think these are interesting things, but it's different than the appreciation of the construction of the art. That these are two separate processes going on, and they are appreciated simultaneously, but and people don't necessarily recognize when they're doing one or the other. And I think that this sort of thing would benefit from a distinction between the two, right? To be able to recognize that, or like with you were talking about like the Carlin sticky note theoretically, right? You know, if he was able to just Carlin in general, I guess is what I mean, is that if he's able to articulate something very profound and simply in a way that somebody else would take very a much longer set to achieve the same kind of thing, anybody could have theoretically come up with the Carlin bit, but the fact that it was him specifically and his intellect that did so, I mean, doesn't that deserve appreciation as well, right?
Sure.
And I also want to I would just wanted to put attention to that is that great artists can sometimes achieve more with less.
Agreed.
So even though I would say,
so then is the take the money and run?
Yeah,
the epitome of art because he.
I think it actually has more artistic value than, I mean, especially with the title.
Yeah, I think that Take the Money and Run is also there's a movie that came out earlier last year called The Menu, where they kind of play into the poserism and the way people, for lack of a better term, gatekeep and act like they know, and they're not really understanding what it is. But you know, a lot usually they're really well to do and they just want to be a member of, you know, high-end arts and society and in those certain circles, and they don't really know what it is that makes something special. And you know, printing the newspaper on a tortilla isn't, you know, it doesn't make it taste good. It like the menu kind of holds a mirror up to the, you know, poser culture within certain circles. So like it's certainly exploitable. The conversation we're having is absolutely exploitable. I mean, to take the money and the run, take the money. I don't know why I keep wanting to say the twice. Take the money and run. That it's just proving a point. Like, you guys will pay for anything.
Yeah. And if the conversation is exploitable, that would mean that we are under monetized. So, you know, maybe we should get on that. But yeah, I do agree. Yeah, that kind of makes me wonder though, like, so I haven't seen this whole video, the one that you were showing before. So that was Shad, right?
Yeah, that was Shadiversity.
Yep. So his brother is Jazza, the YouTube artist guy. So does he share the same opinion?
Actually,
or does he go into Jazza's opinion on it at all?
There is, I didn't read it, but well, let me try and bring it up. Where was? Okay, where is?
So I think it's definitely something, but like I've never tried to sell my AI art or anything like that. Like I don't know. I don't feel like it would be the same thing as like this creation that I created, but I don't know. As like his brother is like an artist who does sell his art and stuff. I don't know that that would make me wonder if he kind of thinks differently of that.
Does there need to be a disclaimer if you're making AI art that you're selling it?
I don't know. Like,
Okay,
would you
okay.
think there was?
Here, should you have a disclaimer that you used Photoshop in your photography?
That's a good point.
Yeah, I would say no, and I don't feel. I think everyone assumes that you're doing touch-ups or whatever if you're gonna like sell it or like if it's on anything professional.
Of course.
So I think that kind of comes with it, but I don't know. Like I wouldn't think that you'd have to, but I don't know. Should you? And then would that extend to other art as well? So like if you do get help with like a paper or something like that, like now do you have to always credit AI as well?
Instagram
Or would
has
it just be
destroyed photography. We know.
yeah, like do you have to credit which filters you use, or I don't know.
Hey guys, I'm really
There are
sorry.
AI filters now.
I'm going might have to dip out early. My power just went
Oh,
out.
okay.
I gotta hop on the phone.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
Yeah. Well,
We can't do this without you.
no,
You must join
no,
us,
you
even
totally
if there is a
can.
zombie apocalypse going on.
Nah, love you guys.
Well, that's awesome that you were able to join us, man. It's always awesome.
I'll be here next week. Oh my god.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're excited.
Nice meeting you.
And nice to meet you, Charles. It's been wonderful talking to you.
Indeed. And you as well.
All right. No, thank you. Catch y'all later.
Bye.
Cordial. Oh, wait, I forgot to ask him who he's offended in the past. Damn it. Need to take notes.
There's so many. Yeah.
I need to check in with everybody. Sorry, guys.
I don't know. Like,
no. It's okay.
I would think it's very much like a tool, like like Photoshop or whatever. But I don't know. I kind of ran into a disagreement with everybody else that I was kind of talking to this about the other night. I don't know. Do you guys see it as not just a tool? I would think that it would have to be enhanced some way. Like you don't just like plug it in and then just immediately take it out.
I think that is the problem that a lot of people are intuiting, is that you are pushing a button and getting art and making claims with this. I think that is why that's why I think that the real future of AI art is as a tool to use by artists. I think that once that becomes the norm, that people will care less about the auto-generated AI art, because we'll have such much greater, more impressive examples of art that people won't care about what somebody can just simply auto-generate with it. That's my intuition.
Wasn't there some version of this conversation or I don't know, something like this when NFTs were a thing and all of those
people didn't understand what it was. And,
yeah,
I still don't.
It's you are not.
These tokens are
you are not
fungible,
owning,
but other tokens are fungible.
You are not owning the picture. You are owning you're owning a number associated with the picture.
So what's the picture for then?
To trick people into buying it who otherwise wouldn't fall for it. I don't know. I do really view the whole NFT thing as a rather malicious, scummy kind of way to squeeze, whereas others wouldn't fall for the exact same thing. Like it's kind of like.
But the thing I paid for has a pink background, and the Bored Ape has.
Well, okay, so okay.
What is
so
funging?
Wait, no. Fungible means like interchangeable, right?
Oh.
So these are non-fungible.
No, I gotcha.
I like funging.
I get you.
Yeah. No, okay. So here's the thing, as I understand it, is that basically what's being created or what's being done through the NFTs is that the art isn't the unique part. The art isn't necessarily even what is copyrighted or whatever.
You can just copy. You can just screenshot all of them and use them without restriction.
Right.
Literally. And then people on Twitter will get mad. You stole my $40,000.
Yeah, no, because they don't understand.
You can't steal it. It's not a picture.
Yeah, that's what they don't understand. So if essentially what a NFT is that it is like a coin or something, right? So like,
yeah, it's
like in your,
Bitcoin. I didn't mean to really take us
No,
down
yeah.
that,
No, it's okay.
that really dark
So-
path.
So like with a quarter, right? All the art is the same. That's kind of like how you recognize it as being legitimate. It's through the art. But the coin has whatever, it has a serial, or better yet,
Like a minted?
the like a dollar bill has a serial number. It has two on the same one, you know, and so that serial number is what distinguishes it from other dollar bills, even though they
Yeah,
have
but
the same art.
By that
And so what an
mentality,
NFT is, yeah, with an NFT, you have the blockchain code number, which is your serial number, and whatever it's attached to is almost incidental.
yeah. So
So you're
if I just take a pen and draw sunglasses on George Washington's face, that should be infinitely worth more to somebody, even though it's just $1.
yeah,
And that barcode is distinct to that sunglasses George Washington.
yeah, exactly. So
I don't know. Could there be binary art though? Like, I don't know. It kind of feels like there can be. I've seen pictures made out of ones and zeros. It kind of feels artistic.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's typewriter art.
What's
but
the?
I'm against
I don't know.
I'm against Bitcoin and all this stuff for a completely different reason. It's tying up
Volatile.
the chips. It's tying up the chips and the resources used to make them, and the resources used in operating them, and the resources.
What are you talking about? You get 15
area as
desktops
well.
and you have them run for about 6 months straight, heating your house, and you might get yourself $14 worth of Bitcoin out of it after all of that.
Yeah.
What's the opinion then on gaming NFTs?
Oh, wait,
This
wait.
idea
Just
that
before
you
we do
could-
that, in terms of Bitcoin, this is an anecdote. There is a laptop out there somewhere, if it is even still there, that has over 1 million Bitcoin on it. That was thrown away on accident because I don't remember exactly the story behind it, but it's out there in a junkyard somewhere, and there is some super convoluted anecdote about, and the guys tried to get it back so hard, and they couldn't find it. But there is somewhere out there, guys,
Yeah.
a thrown away junk laptop that has a shit ton of shit
Yeah,
going
I
on
would.
it. Yeah.
I would probably get some sort of, if the person knows that it's at a junkyard, you could probably get investors to help you find it. I'm almost certain.
If it hasn't been disassembled, yeah.
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 Because that's a lot of money.
Yes. But yeah, it's one more thing to add to the Bitcoin thing is I do view that scene too with growing distrust, essentially with all of the turbulence, the instability, and how everybody goes in so confident and loses almost everything and just relies on fucking around the 9 other guys so you can make a profit. So I do view that space with growing distrust, but although not as badly as the NFT space, but I do view the whole token space very negatively overall because of what I see how people behave in it, what it encourages, and what results from it. I don't see it as doing some good things per se, basically.
It's all rigged, all of it.
Yeah. Generally speaking, yeah. And so,
but I was.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask with regard to the gaming NFTs, which I think arguably has a functionality that is different than an art NFT. I appreciate the idea of owning your game asset, right? So like I play Fallout 76 and I, spend atoms in the atom shot to get skins.
Not the original, important. He didn't play the original. Okay, not the original. They have updated it since. Okay. It's
what original?
How it was released. That's not.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh no.
Are you talking about like Fallout 1, the original?
76 didn't have a great
Yeah.
release.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I played the beta.
No, it
and,
had a
like,
horrible release.
I mean,
yeah,
if you
remember.
survived, if you didn't get poisoned by the moldy helmet and by the undrinkable alcoholic drinks that they sold with the game, then I suppose you might have positively salvaged an experience from it. But it didn't launch well. Yeah.
Wait, did you say undrinkable energy drinks?
Undrinkable alcoholic drink. No, the Nuka-Cola Dark was a whole thing. That was essentially it was.
Yeah.
I didn't get to finish my point.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Lucifer. I didn't even say I like gaming NFTs. I said I can appreciate a specific fucking aspect.
No.
Oh no, you no longer have Lucifer's favor.
Shit.
Because Hydra went on a
And,
tangent about Fallout
I do.
76.
Yeah.
And
Well, I've got a weird tangent to go
I
on,
don't-
but
I don't
Dorcas,
like
let's have you
this shit.
finish it so that you can.
Yeah.
I was
I still
highlighting the
respect you,
difference
sir.
between renting an in-game skin that the company can take from you at any point, or you have to give back when you're done playing the game, versus an idea of owning the in-game assets that you purchase and being able to resell them.
Lucifer,
Actually,
listen, it's over. He
I
played
actually-
Fallout 76.
I knew
he
a
likes
guy-
gaming NFTs.
Okay,
it's over. There is
Lucifer.
no salvaging.
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
But do you physically have something to show for it? Like it's kind of like digital copies of things, like music. And if
Yeah.
Warner decides to sell again, as they always will, that digital copy of an album that you have, you don't have anymore because they sold it, and their new whoever the new company is that owns Warner Records, that they don't. For some reason, your predetermined digital music doesn't carry over, and like what I was taught, what's yours is yours because of the whole Kazaa, whatever, all of that. What was the first app that where the guy could just figure out how to download
Napster or
right?
whatever.
So they were like, all right, we should probably figure out how this guy does it and then just sell it. And then they did that.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, every now and again, there's like this company that'll sell their licensing, and then what you thought was yours that you paid for is no longer yours. And
Yeah.
it's kind of evolved to like whatever Apple Music, Amazon Music, and I don't know what the platform that Joe Rogan is on, Spotify, like those. You just listen to it all month and you pay a monthly thing, and it's I like having my album.
Yeah, it's kind of awesome. I'm experiencing way more music, so I do. Spotify,
I don't disagree with
specifically.
that, but at the same time, like
I'm listening to way more albums than I did in the past, but I don't own anything. Like the second I stop paying them, like they're all gone, which sucks. The one that's worse than that is Amazon. So I've like, you know, you can either do like the rent or buy from there. I've bought a few from there and they've just disappeared. Like they're just no longer on there. And it's like, okay, so what did I buy? Like I just had some use of it. But Dorcas, you were saying that it's a little bit different with like those skins. I guess I don't quite understand. So like there's some that you buy from like in-game currency and then you only get it in that.
Right.
I don't know. That's kind of different. Like, could you resell like other ones?
What's the difference between that and CS:GO, like knife skins, for example?
So my understanding with in-game purchases is you are not literally buying these in-game items or skins such that you own them. You are unlocking them for your account, or you are renting them, and in theory the game company could revoke that, like in much the way that like Fallout 76 had this big legacy problem where there were weapons that were deemed too powerful, so they stopped putting them in the game, and then they removed all existing legacies, right?
Still better than when they banned them for banned people for using it originally. Okay,
yeah, that's better. But but different issue. So the idea as gaming NFTs were explained to me, and I don't know much about NFTs in general, it's sold as you own these things. And I can appreciate like NFT removed from the argument, I can appreciate the idea of literally owning the items that you have in game and like having the right to be able to sell the item when you're done with it in a way. That idea
but NFT support though has to be enabled. NFT support is as Cameron is bringing up in the chat, he's saying that NFTs don't change that because they can just stop supporting the code that allows your NFTs to function.
That definitely sucks. That is kind of an extra wrinkle in there. But you would still own the thing. It would just be useless.
Right.
Yeah.
So
sure.
Is that a value that depreciates then?
I mean, people tend to look at these NFTs as investments rather than gaming utility things.
But like, is like a skin for whatever game gonna be valuable, like, to my kids? Like, I don't know.
I mean, is my Fallout.
If Ready Player One has taught me anything, yes.
Oh, well, okay.
Well, and there is an interesting idea with I used to know a guy.
Clarify, I do think NFTs are a scam.
Who worked
I just don't understand them.
But they're non-fungible.
Right. Exactly. And so they were working on this idea of a game where they would use NFTs as like kind of all of the items. So theoretically, there would be unique items in the game that you could sell or buy, trade, whatnot, and they're unique items. They're non-fungible. And they would be related to the blockchain. And so it is an interesting concept, but I just don't know if we're there yet. I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know a lot of stuff about this.
I'd invest in FFTs, fully fungible.
There you go.
I don't even know what the T is.
Super fungible.
I have to ask you, Katru, are you like, what is the cat avatar based on? Are you moving your head like looking?
Oh, yeah. So
he's a full-on VTuber. This is his avatar.
So you're moving your head like that, huh?
Avatar.
Yeah, I'm moving my head.
Wow.
And stuff.
That's wild.
It is somewhat exaggerated, or at least it used to be when he was going to the side. Like,
so like, okay, so
but
like
right
here,
I almost had a seizure.
I am simply okay. So this is my head. My actual head has turned about 10 degrees.
Oh wow. Okay.
So it's super exaggerated.
I see.
It was
this
before
allows
when
me
he
to
was
do cute
essentially
little poses like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just makes me jealous of your computer. Mine could never handle processing that and like doing this. Mine's just a potato.
Mine's like, no, not only that, and we're done for the day.
I was just a bit concerned for Katru when his avatar was suddenly lying on the side and twitching. It's like, it seems like, oh god, what happened over there?
Please feel free to let me know if my audio is a bit off.
It's better than before.
No, you sound great, man.
So
you sound better.
So, oh, great. Okay, thanks, mobile network. My power went out, so my Wi-Fi is no longer working. Hence why I'm outside, so I can actually get somewhat decent reception. But yeah, if you hear planes flying overhead or dogs barking, my apologies, and yell at me profusely.
Awesome.
How dare you waste your last remaining batteries on us?
Well, yeah, my phone might die. I don't have the option of plugging it in now.
Listen, now he's stealing my entire identity. Come on, that's mine. That's what I do.
Oh no,
hey, I also
trade. Wait.
So, to wrap up, as we usually do, I thought we could play a few rounds of Gartic Phone. Charles, do you know what that is?
No.
Okay.
I
So
have
it's
to
a
get
combination.
I didn't know
It's
what
a
it was
combination-
recently either, so don't worry.
It's a combination of Pictionary and telephone.
Oh.
So like we'll create sentence prompts, and then the next person has to draw that sentence prompt, and then the person after that will describe what they've seen, and then the following person after that will attempt to draw that new prompt, and and so it creates as many players as you have their own album. So everyone will start their own sentence, and then we'll all work on each other's different ideas.
What do we draw on?
It's a browser.
It's just through a tab.
Yeah, it's a browser game.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
All right. So
I'll use my AI to.
No,
right.
But there's an important question: is Gartic phone art real art?
Yes.
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 Oh,
It can be.
It's one of those games that depending on who you're with, it can vary drastically what you end up getting out of the game. You can have some fantastic art created by some very skilled people, or you can have it devolve into penises and shit. Literally.
Yeah.
Or my stick
So-
figurines.
Sometimes
got-
it's both.
Yeah. So we got link in the private chat to the
Okay. Oh, sweet.
Oh no, an ad.
Yeah.
I see.
Um,
My name is not cool nickname.
Yeah.
out of
Hold on a second. I have 1
Curiosity.
minute. I'll be right back. I gotta do something.
Sure.
60 seconds, just.
Okay, and we can just go over the different here. I am going to share my screen.
Yeah. It's like all of a sudden darkness falling all at once. Mm-hmm. He's so used to at least the fridge going. Yep.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Excellent.
That's what I
And so
see.
this is yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right. And so what we'll do is so normal is what I just described.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Story is where we're just writing sentences. So we try to add to each other, build a story together, and all you know is what the last person said. You don't know the whole story. You only know what the last sentence of the story is, and you're trying to take the story in whatever direction you know. So generally, what's an advised idea is that you'll have beginning of a sentence, and you'll leave your sentence open, right? You'll finish what the last person said, and then you'll put a period, and then you'll start the next sentence, so it gives like a hook to the next person to.
All right, I'm here.
to
So
face
my
off.
apology for being tardy.
Right.
And
So
then
funny.
you have complement. Oh gosh. Okay, wait. Knockoff is great because all you're having. Okay, so knockoff is where one person will draw. What we all make our own drawings, right? And then timer each next session is less time, so you have to draw what somebody else's drew in less time, and so the drawings will devolve as we have less and less time to recreate what it is. Animation is where we are. It's another all drawing one where someone will draw a scenario, and then the next person will draw like the next frame of the animation. So in the end, it's supposed to look like a flip book that somebody is that we work together on. Okay.
Norma is the
So,
best.
everyone ready?
Objectively the greatest. Yeah.
It's not a difficult learning curve.
Yeah,
You'll
it's-
pick it up.
It's not.
Yeah.
So here, let's do. Okay, so Hydra isn't back yet, but let's do.
I'm right here. What the fuck do you mean?
Where are you? Oh no, there you are. I'm super blind.
What?
Okay.
Like, well, he's
Ray.
here right now. So
Oh.
I'm out at the end of
Okay.
this month.
Hey,
So
Galante
let's
didn't win himself. Oh no.
Galante can join after this first round. Okay, we'll just do normal. And start.
Oh no. Timer.
Yeah, well, hopefully that transition's easy for you. Yeah, tell me
I
about it.
start?
Have fun at work?
Everyone starts.
Oh.
Yes. And I guess try not to look at Andrew's screen that he's sharing at everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys have been listening to me the whole time. I thought I was muted.
Yep, I was talking about
it. You were not. You were not.
We know the secrets now.
Oh my God, I'm moving.
Something about a fridge.
What? One? Now it's a 2 out of 5, 3. What is the?
Yeah, because we have 5 players.
Oh, sorry. I think it's us.
The check
how
mark
many
is
of us
how
have
many-
said we're done?
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
It's time to draw. What?
Wait.
Oh.
Yeah.
Draw whatever the sentence at the top of the panel says.
There we go.
And then you've got different tools, kind of like MS Paint over in the side of it.
There we go.
Oh, I don't want to do all this. I need AI.
Don't worry.
Going well.
Everybody's drawings are terrible. Don't worry. It's
exactly.
You can't do worse than me.
I was doing it with my. I was doing it with my finger on my smartphone the first time I did it on here, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, mice are not conducive for
Yep.
any
No, they are not.
But that's what makes the magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't improve on shittiness. I really
embrace the shit.
Oh no! How do I undo? Oh,
I was thinking about that from the start.
The arrow. There is not about the arrow. And then there is the little tools box at the right side. That's
It's at the bottom left of your toolbar.
Oh wait, I think.
Don't worry, I'm not dead. It says so on my title.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
Terrible.
This is not going well.
There
Nobody's
we go.
going to get this. I screwed up really bad.
No,
That's how it
everyone's
works.
gonna get this. Everyone is gonna get this.
Mhm.
The magic of this game happens once all the albums are done.
Yeah, we will see it all together. That's the real point. At the end, we can all see.
We get to share in the embarrassment. Well, I don't because I'm not playing.
Hey.
What?
Okay. Yeah.
What is that, Andrew?
So somebody might have gotten mine. I apologize.
Yes. Done. Perfect.
Okay.
100% accurate.
It looks like there's a little bit of peen coming off the person on the right.
Oh God. That sounds horrendous without seeing it.
Okay.
What the fuck? How am I supposed to draw? Okay. What is this?
Wait, I didn't have time to process.
No.
Wait,
Okay.
Oh fuck. Okay.
How about a big schniaz?
All right.
Everything about life hurts.
No, wait.
I'm sorry.
No, wait. This guy is no up here. All right. Yes. Okay. That. Then like this. Okay.
That is way better than I would have done for that particular appendage.
Amazing.
I hopefully somebody will understand this, what I'm trying to say.
Will it show what we see? Because
yeah. Oh yeah. It's amazing
in the end. It's going to
even the sentence that like we're supposed to draw. Because
Yep.
Right. I just want to make sure that I'm not suffering a stroke at the moment. That's all.
No. We will all understand.
So I just want to throw it out there that I'm using a phone for mine because my potato's a piece of crap. My computer is a potato. So mine are extra bad.
Potato's currently
I'm really sorry. Yeah.
Galante 2.0 is over here.
I didn't do it.
Touch screen, Jesus. Drawing this from a touch screen. Pray to God this is going to...
I have no explanation for anything.
Terrible.
I'm just happy other people know my pain.
How are you supposed to draw with a mouse? This is insanity. Oh.
What the actual fuck is that?
I love these round shift reactions. Utter disbelief at what you could possibly be seeing. I swear, when the drawing round is over on a game of Gartic Phone, it's like...
All right, here we go. And we're done?
No, but it's the time limit.
Voiceover, manual.
All right.
Yes.
So
Okay.
do I switch over to...
No.
You can just watch it on yours.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or in
The fish swims very fast.
That's not what I have.
Definitely see it.
I see it.
Orange fish racing upstream in a river.
All right, racing. Thank you.
Okay, race.
Oh, look at that. Nice.
Hey, that's way better.
Goldfish swimming to the finish line.
Pretty close.
Okay.
The missing mute button.
Oh.
That's like impossible. I know.
I know where I got from that.
So, in my defense, it cleared
block
everything.
In red block at bottom of screen.
Here comes
Gone.
me.
I'm sorry. I couldn't come up with something.
That one. Okay.
I like it.
2 boxes with a phone in the middle, one green, other red.
I'm sorry, I couldn't come up with something fast enough for the problem.
A lonely puppy looking over a pool of jello.
Perfect. Excellent. Never better.
Oh, no.
Table-shaped animal cries over pink.
Table-shaped animal. It didn't even get that it was a dog.
What is that, a heart?
Little white creature cries over light brown bush.
I mean, that is indeed a table-shaped animal, you know.
Yeah.
I smell garlic bread.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's pretty good.
I smell garlic.
I'm terrible.
That's my
Onion
bad.
bread.
Almost.
That was extremely close.
I totally messed that one up.
But you know that thing about
for my garlic.
We all know about onion bread. It's layered everywhere.
A man smelling burning logs of wood.
I see it.
Sure. Oh.
jumping over blueberries.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh,
So my sentence was
okay.
basically that before, and yeah.
Damn, Andrew, good job.
2 people jumping over a blueberry bush.
That's pretty awesome. So,
Nice.
do you all get primed by the prompt in there too? Like, I have an idea in my head, and then all of a sudden, I can only think of the stupid prompt that it shows me, like at the start of the game.
Stick figure man follows the Google Maps directions over there.
Oh,
I was gonna put bush, but it
yeah.
cut me off.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So,
Wow.
Valente,
That
do
was
you want
very
to join?
emasculating. Thank you.
I actually cannot be in the stream and be on Gardic phone at the same time.
Bring
Got
people
it,
in from the
got it.
chat and ruin it
Okay.
all. Or
So,
something.
yeah. Here, let's add that. Yeah. I'm gonna go to and add. Where is this? Okay. Thank you, chat. If anyone still here wants to, in the Discord, in the Thinker chat, go ahead and head on over, join in if you want to join. We're gonna do a quick. Let's do a quick story round, just to get something different while we wait for people to respond to that.
Different story.
Something
We gotta
right.
worse about myself.
I haven't played that before. What is that for?
Okay,
we gotta get
story
somebody
is
like.
Ooh,
Anxiety. Start writing a story.
Yep. What's your premise?
Easy.
No, the more surreal the prompts, the more entertaining the artwork becomes.
I should just let things go. Oh, shit. My phone. I have a rotary phone from the 70s, guys. Hang on.
Oh.
Whew. God damn.
All right.
Aw, pupperinos.
Oh, whoa, what?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I swear I'm not gonna die. Whew.
Do not die on stream, Valente. That would be very traumatizing for me.
All I'm saying is, not marijuana is totally one hell of a drug.
Mm. Oh.
I'm messing this up.
Yeah.
Is there
Good.
Is there nailing it?
Okay. And this is the last round, so just finish off the story.
Can I have a request for the next game, if you guys are down.
Oh, please let it be something where
No.
Oh, no, dang it. So,
Knockoff is a really fun game mode.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
This is going to be horrendous. I
There was
apologize
a
in
man who
advance.
was very happy, however. One day, he understood the meaning of life,
So much for happiness.
but was cursed. No one else could learn it. No one believed that NFTs were actually art. Cursed. Yes.
That's amazing.
As all art is truly non-fungible.
Cheeky fuckers.
One day, the microphone has had enough of all the ASMR going on. It was time to end ASMR for good, whispered the mukbang YouTuber. Just before devouring the ungodly amount of flaming hot rama, they told their friend how sad they
are. So this is me.
Cut off. Time limit.
Timers.
Sally the snail wanted a divorce.
Oh, no,
She was
Sally.
going to do it, boo.
But
T realized her ex was salty.
Oh.
But T liked him salty.
What?
I was trying to help.
So they picked the next best thing and went with peppers. Thus ended the best meal they ever enjoyed.
So much for that divorce.
Ended up in a delicious meal. That's better than most divorces.
Yep.
There was once an actual narcissist
Hmm.
who knew they were the best at being a narcissist. So they stood on stage proclaiming their love for all the cosmic chicken stands for.
Oh.
So they celebrated until
Fred.
the end of time.
That sounds about right.
Man. I'm still picturing somebody whispering through 3 cheeseburgers hanging out of their mouth.
ASMR is trash, y'all.
Oh God.
The dog begged for the burrito,
Oh, I don't know where I went from this. What?
and the woman gave him a small bite of the most excellent garlic bread imaginable.
There you go.
The garlic bread was beloved by all and brought peace to all by its lovely aroma.
Aw, that's so
I don't-
wholesome.
I don't know about you guys, but I need a burrito that's wrapped in garlic bread instead of a tortilla now.
There you go.
Oh, that sounds
There you go.
incredible.
Mm.
I mean, there's garlic naan. The technology exists.
It does.
Okay. Okay. We had one more person. They left.
Oh,
No.
Oh, no, she's
here.
here.
Here she is. Yeah, Kitteh.
noise.
Okay.
Hey.
So we're gonna do knockoff.
Also, hi, Jab.
Oh, fuck
So
yeah.
keep drawing the
Oh,
same
no,
thing
I'm
as
going to
time
win
gets
this.
shorter.
No timers,
Make this
anxiety.
complex. Yeah.
So you guys have a lot of time to start with.
Make it as
Take your
complex as you
time.
can.
What are we doing?
Yes.
Draw.
Draw
Take your
anything
time.
you want.
Drawing
Just take your time.
anything you want.
Oh,
Make it.
Just
as
look at how long the
can.
timer is taking to go down, just to give you an idea.
okay.
Now, that will not be consistent throughout this game.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Mouse.
Are you having mouse troubles? Get yourself a cat today.
Go.
Yeah, so we do this. I don't know why I'm here.
Existentialism's a bitch, ain't it?
Yeah, thinker, they said. Join the thinker stream. I was like, yeah, thinker. That sounds fun. No sort of burning my brain needed.
I guess it's a little late to tell you that the name is unironic and ironic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's an iron?
I think you're supposed to flatten your clothes with it or something.
Yeah.
Oh, don't slow down on me now, computer, you dick.
Also, remember, guys, that you can change the thickness of lines at the bottom.
Ah!
Oh, no.
All right, a little late in the game for that.
Hey, you still have more than half of your timer left.
Yeah, sounds a lot.
Sounds a lot.
What do I want to do with this? I don't.
I don't think people would realize what this is.
Right.
So I don't think I'll... Yeah, I'll just leave it like this. Okay.
You can always throw a few trees in. You could add a
Wow.
cloud or
It would
a
be really
window.
fucking weird if there was a tree where I...
You know, just sitting in the middle of the butcher shop, there's just a sapling growing.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, hey. Wild Jab appeared. Hey, Jab.
Oh, snap.
Oh, wow. Hello.
Welcome, Jab.
Jab.
Okay.
He's muted. And he left. We were not deserving of this holy presence.
Jab, that's my secret move.
He's probably having some connection problems.
Yeah, probably. Or he didn't realize that we were at the end, maybe. Oh, no.
Come in and play with us.
Or he clicked it accidentally because he wanted to join.
Oh, that could be too.
The game, not the Steam.
Come and play with us.
One of us.
Darling's
one
web
of
tortilla
us.
is totally
We will
doable. No,
we
it's
will
not. Stop lying.
All right. There we go.
Got a quarter of the time left.
About a quarter.
Yeah, all of that time just I didn't know how to handle it.
Well, you won't have to worry about that here soon, I promise you.
It's going to degenerate really fast.
Oh no, 10 seconds.
Hello.
Hello,
Yeah.
Jab.
Hey.
Hey.
How's it going?
It's been a minute.
All right.
How have you been?
It has.
It has
Playing
been
some
several
Garden
minutes, in fact.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You made it just in time to watch the first round of knockoffs start to degenerate.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And sorry, it was Charles, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think we've been acquainted. Nice to meet you. I'm the executive producer of Gray's show. So.
Oh, I do as well. I can't see. I'm busy trying to do this.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's all good.
Bad time to do introductions, but okay.
I popped in at a bad time.
I'm drawing with a mouse, like everybody's supposed to.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. I can do this. Oh, no, wait. I
How
forgot.
much detail is too much detail?
No.
Oh wow.
Wait.
Timer's going now.
Bring it back.
Uh-huh. That timer is getting shorter.
Okay.
This is totally going to be not at all recognizable. I'm so sorry.
I'm loving this.
I don't know whose drawing I got, but the amount of detail they put into it, I hate you, okay?
Well, that was probably mine that I did on my phone. Oh, wait, probably not.
Oh, Andrew, I think you might be working with Grace.
Oh my gosh. This is... people are going to be like, wait a minute. Where is this coming from? I don't even know.
Shit, I don't have enough time.
Shoot. I'm gonna...
What are you talking about? You have plenty of time still. You just wait for 2 rounds to go by.
Liar.
Ah!
I don't even remember what was on the picture. No.
I know, right? I clicked it too fast.
Yeah, me too. Accidentally.
I think.
Come on, bring that pun in there.
Whoa.
I can do it.
No, I had way too much time to draw this, then I had to replicate. That is.
Yeah. I add
No.
detail when that happens, Jen.
Nah, I'm not done. Oh, no.
Andrew, are you making a trout?
No.
What's going on?
Wait. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, everybody.
What is? Oh shit! The clock's
There?
going.
Yeah. That was such an honest.
I don't have any idea what I'm doing. Sure, this is what it looked like.
This is just art entropy, and I love it.
I have a neurological disorder. This is like torture. Like
I'm so sorry. So sorry.
Why did you tell us? This
I'm
is
also
This was my idea too.
I can acknowledge the humor in it. It's fine.
Oh wait, no.
I didn't finish. Is that fucking Louis?
I love the de-evolution of all of this. Wait, can you do shapes? What?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're just finding out.
No.
Yeah.
I can't draw Luigi. No.
I wasn't.
I have no idea if this is even correct, but I'm going with it.
I don't
I'm
know.
going
I
with it.
Let's say, Andrew, that's a really good use of time. You're even adding elements.
I am? Oh, okay. Okay, I can do it.
Easy.
Look at that timer.
Okay.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, man. All right. Wait, and then there was something like this. Nope, that's
Halfway
wrong.
there, guys.
Somebody cheated.
Right.
The things that I did to mine.
Yeah, what?
Get this green left.
Quarter left.
There we go. Okay.
I don't appreciate the initiation, guy.
That's fine.
What?
Wait. I can do it.
Yeah.
Sure, wait.
I can do that.
Wait. No.
I think I actually got this one. I feel good about it.
Had I known, you just do shapes and put a dangly thing on the end.
Andrew, are you making
All the
a
penis.
It's art.
My apologies to whoever got mine.
Oh God! Here
It's over. Finally.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Here we go.
Whoa!
That was you motherfucker! I couldn't even. I didn't even do anything.
Oh, well, that's actually really close.
Okay.
It's getting sophisticated.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
Oh,
Hey,
no.
that's right. Listen, I might have done more with the line.
Degradation as it goes on.
There is a rumor that once
it's like the meme of the Netflix symbol. It gets more and more simplistic the more and more we progress.
Yes, the middle or the Patreon symbol. Patreon. Is horrible.
Yeah, it's just like a.
Yeah.
wait,
Oh, it was Z's.
Oh,
Z's.
maybe
it was a
maybe you
sleeping
didn't
moon.
add
Oh,
them.
yeah, that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not even remember the Z's.
Yeah,
Hey.
I didn't put the
They're doing
detail.
okay. They're doing okay.
I put
It looks like
on.
a turd.
Oh.
Not,
What even is it at that point?
all right, so here we go. From there to there.
Good night,
Nice.
Mr. Moon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
No, not.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Is
I
that
don't know
free?
which one this turned
nice,
into.
nice. I don't recognize this one at all.
Mario.
Empty.
Oh, empty.
Okay,
Oh,
my
no.
phone turned off during one of these. I'm really sorry. I had to
how
watch the ad and then it was done.
I didn't even remember what it was. Okay.
Oh, that's
Oh,
what it was.
that's-
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
No,
okay.
Wait a minute. I remember a person. So I did this because I couldn't remember what this was.
Oh no!
Alright.
Oh no! I think I have a
Okay,
thing I
so-
have to go tend to.
Oh no. Okay.
Oh no. Okay, yeah.
Do you have to
Well,
take off now?
we're ending soon, so yeah.
No, I just didn't
Okay.
want to show my thing. That's all. My artwork.
Oh, I see.
Oh wow! Wow.
Yeah.
Your
Not
pumpkin
bad.
shit, but the knife is pretty good.
Yeah.
No, that's
It
I thought
became
that
ice
was
cream.
tortilla or
Dragon
something.
Dust.
I didn't know what it was. I
Is
thought
that a cigarette?
Oh, that, no,
No,
this-
it's ice cream.
Or a torch?
yeah,
that's
or
just-
a carrot or something.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
A really fucked up carrot.
it's so wholesome that a bloody knife became an ice cream cone.
It started with a jack-o'-lantern and it's gone.
I hear rumor that there once was a chicken
Nice.
in this game mode that just turned into multiple pages of brown.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, so
Wow.
nice.
I don't know
Good
what I got.
work.
Other animal.
Other animal?
Oh. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Garfield
No,
and his
I think
Thundertalk.
you did great. You did
Yours
great.
looks like a kawaii face.
I like that one the best.
Oh,
Mr. Hank,
we kept it pretty good. I mean, this was the original
What do you mean
ball,
we kept it pretty good?
and then hey,
If you compare it to the second
look
one
at
and not the
this,
first.
right?
Like you kept the base
You're down.
structures,
I
you
think
lost all of the
Very
detail.
well. But no, you're right. Yeah.
And then it just became a little smiley little floomp sitting there.
Oh gosh.
NF
or
tree.
NF tree.
NF
Oh,
tree.
so I messed up. I messed up completely.
Whoa.
What? I didn't have enough time to draw this. I don't. I
Eaten with a tree.
Mine was
That or
worse.
broccoli.
Just wait. I had to watch an ad, and then the fan was like, "Oh,
Wait, why is all of your
Oh, yeah.
technology always like in the early 2000s?
We're pretty steady from
I'm
here out.
old."
Oh, nice. Okay. Very
That's one of
good.
the worst ones. You just went from
No,
that
it
to-
wasn't.
All right.
Or maybe the green page was the worst one.
And then
Thank you for that,
Hi
guys.
guys, I want to quickly
Yeah.
say before others start to
Okay.
leave, and that I will be continuing my Elden Ring stream as an after show. So if anybody wants to join in the Discord, it's there. That's what I wanted to say.
okay. So yeah, let's do a wrap up here and talk about what we each got going on. You have that? Say it again.
If Jesus, okay, yeah. So sorry,
Jab's
what?
chair.
Yeah. No, my ears.
What
So,
is
yeah,
what do you got
I'll
going
be-
on?
I'll be doing in the I'll be continuing my blind playthrough of Elden Ring in the Live Now Discord channel. We are right now exploring Kaled, but could turn into Sea of the River depending on how triggered I get by everything being super poisonous. That's what I have going on, and it's in the coming days there will be more Elden Ring streams most likely.
Excellent. Dorcas, I believe you're working on a project as well.
Yeah, so Sunday, my No One Asked You podcast channel is premiering the first in a series that Kitteh and I are doing, a blind read-through of Mistborn. So it will be the prologue, and basically we are going through what happens in the chapter and discussing our experience, what we picked up on, what we're liking, and, sharing that with the world.
Mist as in MYST?
MIST.
Are you familiar with Brandon Sanderson at all? He
No.
completed the Wheel of Time, and he's done like a whole bunch of. And it's a awesome series that he has.
No.
He's a prolific writer in
Okay.
the fantasy genre.
Okay.
And then
Kitteh had a lot of insightful stuff to say.
And
Also,
they
I
raised
missed
corn?
Judge Chair.
Gray?
What?
They based porn on it? Is that what you said?
That's what I heard.
Yeah, Miss
Probably.
Porn.
Oh gosh.
There's going to be a knockoff at some point.
Oh, okay.
But no, this one's just Missed Born with a B.
Oh, Born.
Thank you for not
As in
making
Born
me
of
feel
Mist.
insane.
I am insane, so I'll break the wall down and just say, "Hey, hi! I heard weird things."
Kidding, maybe we should switch books.
But I do have an episode, one of our old ones. I guess it was Patrick's original conversation with Bob and Dane, Organized Chaos and Actual Fandom. They've been kind of asking for that. We kind of teased that for like months. So yeah, we finally did a reaction
this will
to
be
that.
your goodbye to that.
So we're gonna have 2 final episodes. So one is this one, which is just that old conversation that we kind of promised, and then kind of our reaction to it, and then we'll have a final one saying goodbye to the coverage, and then we're done talking about those guys. But
all right,
yeah, that's what I got going on.
Right on. And I've got in the works a video on liberalism. The foundational thinker.
Nice.
John Locke, he influenced a lot of the Declaration of Independence, and also reacting to Sargon's his breakdown of it, which is trash. And
what did you
I
call
am going
Sargon?
to finally prove that his opinions on liberalism are absolutely and totally worthless.
Oh, did you see post-liberalism series that he did with James Lindsay? That was not
what?
great.
Sorry, what?
Did you see his post-liberalism debate that I think he had with James Lindsay?
Yeah, no, that. Oh my gosh, it's so frustrating. Sargon does not understand liberalism, or he doesn't understand Locke or any of those thinkers almost at all. It's like he read somebody else's like second or third hand knowledge of them, because he literally states things that those people never said and beliefs they never held. It is like insane.
Yeah, Sargon's got some weird critiques of liberalism.
Yeah.
That's being generous. That's putting it generously. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a little bit.
Yeah. So anyways, but that's what I'm working on, and I'll be doing on Friday, tomorrow, I'll be doing a my usual Friday Minecraft stream where it's just chill, hang out as I explore the world and just talk about random topics, about what's going on in pop culture and media and whatnot, and just general chatting.
Oh yeah,
that's what I've got going on. Charles,
I am.
Do you got any content?
Everything I can to avoid being on people's screens, other than stuff like this, of course.
Oh, okay.
I've had a week.
No,
nothing
you
special
have
for spooky month.
And
I know you're doing like.
Oh yeah, Halloween. I've got on Halloween Day. We're ranking all of the Saw franchise, the Hellraiser franchise.
Sure. I'll check that out.
If it's torture porn, they're all mixed together, and
yeah,
we're ranking them.
Okay, that I can't watch that stuff.
And you shouldn't, because I've done it, and I've done enough for everybody in 1 month.
I saw 1 minute of like one of those, and I was like, nope.
That's 59.5 seconds too many.
I'm desensitized.
I've seen them all, and I'm looking forward to your ranking.
Oh boy, why?
You can see his face shriveling up as he talks about it.
Yeah. Just my self-hatred just continues as the video goes on.
Excellent.
Well,
Okay.
thank you for going through that for us viewers.
Yeah, but
and Jab, and Jab, how about you?
I essentially just came on here to let everyone know that I'm not dead.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Look, someone asked me the Lempia stuff.
Yeah. I would like to work on things, but life is kind of a bitch. So
Got it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see, but not entirely sure at this point.
Okay. Right on.
My world's kind of crumbling down around me, you know.
Yeah,
Well, thanks for that ray of sunshine.
Yeah, thanks everyone for coming, and I hope you all have a great week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.